We did it.
The show in a show. We were just on Instagram Live, throwing to Fat Man Beyond Live. And so it's still happening. So I got to shut down the Instagram feed. Kids, jump over to youtube.com/Kevin Smith. Thanks for hanging out. This has been fun.
Fat Manception.
youtube.com/Kevin Smith. Fat Man Beyond. It's happening right now.
We're doing it.
And now. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hold on. Share as real. Might as well, right?
I love a nice soft on-ramp. How you doing, man? I'm good.
It was rather. You know what? I'll deal with that later. We got a show going on, man. Hey, kids. Fucking welcome to Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey.
Oh.
I'm so conscious of I feel like, I'm just going to put it on Front Street. I feel fucking chubby because I've been writing.
Yeah. You've been in a pit?
You know what it's like, man, when you're fucking in that place where you're like, I got deadlines. Good news is this. I finished a book that I've been writing for 3 fucking years. Look at all my jorts. Cover those up in my head. I see that blanket on the couch behind me?
Mm-hmm.
That used to be on the couch, in the back of the couch, 21 Jackson Street, where I grew up in Highlands. And my mom would always fall asleep on the couch, and she'd have that blanket. Or if I fell asleep on the couch, I'd use that blanket. Still have that fucking blanket, crocheted by my grandmother.
Outstanding.
It may be the jersiest thing in this fucking room. But in any event,
the second jerseys thing.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. We have so much to fucking play with tonight, kids, here on Fat Man Beyond. Me and Mark have seen The Mandalorian and Grogu, as has Banff Man. Banff Man, jump in here real quick.
Banff.
Tell him I'm not lying. You've seen it.
I've seen it. I saw it twice, 2.5 times, actually.
I saw it twice, too. Me and Banff Man seen it at the 4DX screen. Where the fuck were you, Mark?
I was in Baltimore.
What were you doing in Murder City?
I was in Charm City, actually, not Murder City. I was moving my son into his apartment. He graduated from college.
Oh shit!
Undergraduate from San Diego State University, and 7 days later moved in for grad school in Baltimore, Maryland.
Your kid's going to grad school in Bmore?
He is.
I'm going to just roll that back a little bit. Your kid's going to grad school?
In Baltimore, yeah.
What's he doing?
Been 4 fucking years since he went to college?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I remember when you brought him.
Tell me about
it. Fuck your feelings. I feel old now. I mean, oh my God. Like it's look, you have to feel old. Like he's your kid. But yeah. I'm catching strays and I have nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I'm marking time and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Now I'm fucking going through an existential crisis over here, man. I'm facing my mortality because your kid's going to grad school. Wow. Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah.
Where are you allowed to say where he goes to grad school, or is that no on the internet?
Yeah, I don't know the protocol of it, but it's in Maryland, one of the universities that they have.
So how often do you get to fuck with? I mean, you go back east fairly frequently.
You know, I'm starting to more and more. I think we talked about it the last couple of episodes. The increased regularity with which I will be on the East Coast for parental visitation reasons. Now I just have to add
both ways.
Yeah. It'll be like
your parents and you being a parent now.
Yeah. And so now it's going to New York to see my folks, hop on 95, buzz through Jersey, dip through a little bit of Delaware, and then there I am in Maryland.
God, man, that means we can do Fat Man Beyond a lot more frequently. It's my
guess. We can. Absolutely.
Right away, I'm like, where's the benefit for me? Al Franken. Well, that's fucking tremendous. You succeeded in making me feel goddamn ancient. You must be very proud of grad school. Fuck.
I know. It's definitely more school than I ever wanted, or even thought that I needed. I mean, hell, undergrad was more than I wanted, but I fucking did it. I did it. He loves it.
So that's why Mark wasn't with us in our Mandalorian and Grogu 40X screening. Compliments of our good friend of the show, Brett Deacon.
I would have loved to have seen it with you guys.
40X, Disney, and Regal Cinemas were the three folks that came together because they gave it to us for free. We gave out free tickets and shit like that.
That's awesome.
We saw it early.
We saw it early. Like I'm telling you, man, like fucking I went back east a few days later to Smodcastle Cinemas and we charged people to watch that movie and our seats didn't do nothing. But yeah, it was very nice of those three folks to throw together a screening for us. And it was a fun way to watch the movie because that movie is a roller coaster. Particularly like in all the action sequences, which there seem to be many.
There are.
There are. But yeah, it was a good time. So that's why you weren't there. But you saw it twice. I saw it twice. Once at the 40X screening, once at Smodcastle this weekend. How many times have you seen it, Mark?
Just once last night.
Wow. Whoa, fresh.
Coming in hot.
All right. So fucking you're gonna be getting some Mandalorian Grogu hot takes. Bet you can guess which way this is gonna go, kids. As I'm just not for nothing, but up there, my Darth Vader action figure cases that I've had since childhood. And Mark, you know, just being Mark. How do you think this is gonna go? But Banff Man is the wild card.
He is.
Banff Man is like fucking look. I made a couple movies where people made Star Wars jokes and shit. Banff Man has an entire bar that rides the legal line. that's how big a fan Banff Man is. So JC, I'm going to be very interested in your take on the movie. We spoke briefly after the 40X, but I want to know what you feel after a second screening. So we're going to be doing that in a minute, kids. We're also going to be talking about, did anybody watch the Spider-Noir pilot?
I watched the pilot. I haven't seen.
I watched the first episode as well. Banff Man, did you watch the first episode?
I did not.
We'll be able to talk about that.
Did you watch
so much more?
Did you watch the Punisher thing? Punisher One Last Kill?
Oh my God. You just almost made me come just even reminding me that existed. Fuck yeah. We didn't get a chance to talk about that before.
No. Randy knew.
Oh my God. Kids, we are going to ejaculate over all this stuff. Just arcing ropes of jism as fucking Bill
Cosby.
No. Oh my gosh. No. Oh fuck. God, did I smoke away his name? Sam Kinison, Bill. Help me out, chat. I don't have chat open, so I can't. God damn it. I'm having a brain freeze. Keep an eye
Comedian?
on. Yeah.
Bill Hicks.
Hicks. Thank you. Fuck. It was just coming as you hit it as well. Bill Hicks was the only person I ever heard use the expression arcing ropes of jism.
It's a good one.
So much to talk about, kids. But before we do that, there's a sponsor.
Indeed.
Thank the Lord. Otherwise, we'd have to do this for free. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Shudder.
Yeah. God forbid.
Honestly, like I remember being a kid, commercials, like I was not one of those people who's like, commercials. Like that was just as entertaining. We didn't have cable TV, let alone the fucking internet. We couldn't turn to a computer and be like, computer, like fucking Scotty in Star Trek, and be like, can you make that scene in The Empire Strikes Back when like they're all out to dinner, like when the doors close in the real movie? Can you make the whole fucking scene that comes after that and have a computer literally tailor make fucking entertainment for you? So back in the days, man, commercials, I didn't fucking shy away from commercials. I consumed them. I was a connoisseur. So when I started doing podcasts, which next year will be my 20th year in podcasting, humble brag. Thank you. When I started podcasting, there were no fucking ads. That's how early I was in the game and shit. One of the first podcast ads that I ever heard was a Fleshlight on Smodcast. That was awesome. So when I was able to shell and shill for a sponsor, I was so prepared because I grew up a TV baby, quite like yourself. So I never bumped into it. I was always like, oh my God, fucking, I've watched people do this my whole fucking life. Act now. That kind. So I was delighted to do it, just like I'm delighted to do it for tonight's sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. Get Cushy. Our sponsor is Tushy.
Oh, nice.
Thank you very much, man. Stop guessing that you're clean. Start feeling it. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off, man, their first bidet order when you use the code FATMAN10 at checkout, man. It's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with the promo code FATMAN10. HELLOTUSHY.com. Why? Because Tushy's going to clean you. It practically licks you clean, this technology, man. Did you ever want to be like a jungle cat or a baby puppy? I guess that's redundant. A puppy. And you see like their moms get up in the crack and like licking them clean and shit. And you're like, good God, I would never want that. You don't need that because you got Tushy.
You do. I mean,
she is the lioness you never had in your life.
I mean, you've got a smart mirror tracking your reps when you work out, a mug that keeps your coffee exactly 142 degrees, and a lawn robot cutting your goddamn grass. But you're still rubbing your fucking bum with like tree scrapings?
What are you, some kind of Neanderthal? Like, what are you, nuts? Join us in the 22nd century, kids, with technology that wipes for you. Everyone's talking about AI and how it's going to save the human race or damn us. I'll tell you right now, man, the only technology I want on either side of the singularity is Tushy.
Hell yeah. It transforms your goddamn bathroom wellness for life. Gut to butt to bowl. Soothes your bottom with instantly warm water that never runs cold. 99% of people who wash with a Tushy warm bidet feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom. Fucking the e-bidets instantly modernize your daily routine and bathroom with a heated seat, adjustable water temperature, and a powerful yet gentle dryer. Just hot air on your ring piece. How awesome must that be?
This is a beautiful belated gift for any mother if you missed Mother's Day. This is a beautiful gift to yourself as June rolls around and you're ready to enter the summer when your crack's getting sweaty as hell and whatnot. Sometimes you just sit down on the Tushy and just get clean, even if you're not doing one or two, for heaven's sakes, man, because it just feels that good. Tushy is pleasurable. That should be their tagline. Tushy, period. It's pleasurable. Exclamation.
Feels good.
Feels good.
It should be like Tony
once said.
Tushy, 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 spelled with an I, with an E, and
just done
an accent.
It feels good, kids. What are you doing? If we have not convinced you to buy Tushy yet, come over to my house, use my downstairs toilet, and you'll thank me because that's where our Tushy is, man, where all the guests come in. I'm like, here, we got it up in my room. Why not for the guests as well? Not a single one of them ever complains. Nobody's ever gone like, get that Tushy out of there. They're like, ooh, I've low-key sold so many Tushies just because I had it here in the house, man. So people can be like, ooh. So what are you waiting for, kids? An invite to my house? Well, you got it. Shy of that, though, if you're like, I ain't got the time to go to your fucking house. I hear you. Life's busy. You can stop guessing you're clean, man, and start feeling it for a limited time. You go to hellotushy.com. Our listeners are going to get 10% off their first bidet order when they use the code FATMAN10 at checkout. FATMAN number 10, all one word. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with the promo code FATMAN10. HELLOTUSHY.com. Tushy. It's going to clean you up like a lioness. That's not their official tagline. That's just something I came up with extemporaneously because I grew up watching television.
Feels good.
We thank the good folks at Tushy. Go to hellotushy.com. Show them your support. Tell them thanks for giving these cats money so they can make their show. Although it doesn't seem that expensive. They do it from their house. Just, we're both from the East Coast. We got Jersey connections. We do business in a certain way.
A podcast that fell off a truck.
Fucking, what a great name for a podcast. For a Jersey podcast. Holy fuck.
Fell off a truck.
Damn it. This is that Cinderella thing all over again. Next time you have brilliance fucking strike you, Shazam, Don't share it. Just text it to me. That's a great fucking name. Podcast that fell off a truck. Oh, I have been enjoying a rewatch of The Sopranos. Speaking of which,
Now,
you may hear some Jersey accent inflected that you never hear out of me, which I never grew up with. Central Jersey, we didn't have any of that, but I did have relatives in North Jersey, so I can end questions on a high note. You know what I'm saying? I can be like, you think you're better than me? You know?
Yeah, just gently.
Yes. Just when you think the plane's landing, the plane takes off. Kids, so much to talk about.
Where should we start?
We dip into the Mandalorian and Grogu, before we dip into Spider-Noir, before we dip into
Punisher, One Last Kill, State of Star
which
Wars.
I can't. We'll start with that. Punisher, because, oh my God, I have much to say. I got a surprise for y'all.
Oh, what you got?
Well, membership has its privileges, man. I'm talking about membership in Marvel Comics, kids. Now, what kind of membership am I talking about? I'm a writer. I can't talk for shit, but I can fucking write. So I've been writing some comics for him lately. I got a comic book coming out on June 10th in comic shops everywhere. Jay and Silent Bob enter the Marvel universe in Jays of Future Past. And, you know, an impatient fool like me who's been building this comic, well, technically for 30 years since I pitched it to Stan Lee on the set of fucking Mallrats. But, you know, has been working on it physically for maybe the last like 8 months, I would say. That glorious moment on June 10th when I was going to go to Jay and Silent Bob's secret stash and do a fucking full-blown signing. We're doing a signing at the stash on June 10th, me and Jay. The signing Jays of Future Past. I thought that's when I was going to get to hold the comic. I forgot. When you write comics, they send you some before they come out.
Ooh.
So Marvel sent me that complimentary box.
It is.
I'm actually holding my fucking book, bitch. Look at this. Look at this glorious thing. Look at these. Okay, so this is the one cover. And who's that? Who's that running from all them Marvel heroes?
Oh, hey. It's Jay.
This is another cover. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all them heroes. Look at the Infinity Gauntlet. Who is that?
Snake, bitch.
And this is something that I really like. See that in the corner? Secret Stash Press. I got my comic book logo on the cover of a Marvel comic book. This is a company crossover, intercompany crossover. One more like little dopey feather to stick in my cap before I leave this best of all possible worlds. I had me not just like my characters in a Marvel comic, but like an fucking comic company crossover. I want to go back in time and tell young Kevin Smith, look at this Mike Allred cover. Fantastic Four and yours truly. Mike Allred has drawn me a lot of times in my life, including he's the guy that came up the very first image, Blunt Man and Chronic, like co-creator of Blunt Man and Chronic. This is a Secret Stash exclusive cover. It's wraparound. Look at this. Captain Ribman did it. He was like, can I do a double side? I said, I'll ask. And Marvel was like, how about it? And who's that right there?
Oh, look at those cuties.
That's your heroes, kids. And then the Dark Nate returns. Nate Gonzalez did the other Secret Stash exclusive cover. Look at how fun this is, man. Ms. Marvel, Spider-Man, Jay and Silent Bob, they're at Movie World. Come on, man. Come on, kids. How fucking awesome is that? He's a friend of the show, man. Then you got this Mallrats inspired cover, all featuring Marvel heroes in place of all the characters. You know, like that's supposed to be TS and Brandy. Then you got a My Food cover. My Food, I've been making comics with My Food since I first jumped into the game. He drew the Oni Comics Clerks #1.
It was a Kirby Crackle.
Look at yes, and on it, like it's big Ghost Rider cover, but Jay is going like, Ghost Rider ain't even in this, Nooch, because he's not. But you know, comic covers, they never have to be honest. For example, Lucky the Pizza Dog, you have these two covers. One is Wizards of the Coast, and the other I think is just like they're doing iconic characters covers month or whatever, because you can see some of them, you know, around
right
border and stuff. But then Wizards of the Coast, I guess it is, the folks that do
Magic
Magic
the
the
Gathering.
Gathering, they did an exclusive cover as well. So 9 covers, obviously not as many covers as we had on Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob, but I ain't complaining, man. That there's one cover, that this comic book exists at all is spellbinding to me. It honestly represents one of my biggest accomplishments. Like, look at that. Look at that. There's your heroes with Deadpool, kids.
No.
Let's just turn to another random page, shall we? Well, I don't want to spoil that, so I'm just going to go show you this page. Look at him in a big old green fart bubble with Doctor Strange at the Sanctum Sanctorum and stuff. It opens with, look at this big ass crowd shot of the Viewers universe, establishing fully well that the Marvel universe and the Viewers universe are together as one. But look at this shit, bitch. Ready for this?
What you got?
This is on page fucking 3. Schwang, redeeming Kang, fucking bringing Doctor Doom into the mix. I've been writing so much Doctor Doom lately, it's nuts, because I got another Marvel project which you know about, but nobody else does.
I know. Shh.
I know, big hush. But my God, what a glorious day this was for me to open a package. I did not expect that they would send the comics to my house, and I get them like a full 12 days ahead of time and stuff. So it hits your local comic shops, kids, June 10th, man. And it's wonderful. How much is this comic book?
$37.
Is that 15? No, $5.99. You know what? I read it because I wrote it. Worth every penny. This, as I've said many times, calls to mind the fucking when Kiss did their crossover and with Marvel Comics. And look, they let me put a fucking, I got to write in the back like an afterword, but they also let me put a Secret Stash press ad in it, or Secret Stash, Jane Silent Bob Secret Stash, Captain
Ooh,
Riddle.
very cool.
Like a hostess, an old hostess thing. And then this comes out soon. There's a back page, not that back page, but that back page. I'm just gonna leave that there.
Yeah, I don't know. What could that have been?
That's not even the thing I was talking about, but it's a thing. So big day for me. Thank you for your indulgence, kids. Like it's I've written comic books and shit, but that's Jay and Silent Bob in the Marvel universe right there.
It is.
And holding the book, man, in my hands versus just like, it's coming. Oh, you know how many of those I'm gonna sign between now and the time I die?
All of them.
I hope so. Oh, it takes me a fucking lifetime to accomplish that. So thank you to the good folks at Marvel, my editor, Jordan. I got to imagine the spirit of Stan Lee, who, if there is an afterlife, is probably pulling some strings, going like, this Spider friend hasn't had a win in a long time. Let's give him this. Well, thank you. June 10th, kids, at your LCS, at your local comic shop, or Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash. We're doing a signing, me and Jay, on June 10th at the Stash. Kids, that's June 10th. Where am I going to be this weekend? Why, I'm going to be in Indianapolis. Tell them, Banff man, at Helium Comedy Club, Friday night, Saturday night, 2 shows a night, 7 o'clock and 9:15, man. Come on out and hang out. I was just in Indiana and Fort Wayne 2 weeks ago. Now I'm in Indianapolis, kids. Come on out. Give me your money and I will use my mouth all over you. I'll give you oral for my, that's kind of fucking whore I am. All right. You got anything you want to talk about before we dive into
the only thing I have, it might be early to plug, I don't know, but I got a comic book coming out on July 1st. 10th anniversary of Rogue One.
Saw Gerrera story.
Saw Gerrera is An uncut, an untold story from the files of Saw Gerrera
Fucking
that
A, man.
does lead directly into the events of Rogue One.
Look at you. You're a part of Star Wars history.
I try, man. I try
And
my
all those
best.
books are canon, right?
They're all canon. They're all like Marvel and Lucasfilm need to sign off on everything in order to make sure that it doesn't overstep, that it doesn't blur any lines. As they like to say, no firsts and no lasts, but you still get to tell a story.
In other words, you couldn't be like, oh, Saw Gerrera's gonna fight Yoda. They're like, no.
You're pretty sure that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like when I did the Mace Windu book, my first pitch was, I want to show how he gets the purple lightsaber, and they were like, no.
Serious?
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
They're
They're
like,
like, that's a tale that could never be told.
it's like they don't want to establish canon, they just want to sit alongside canon.
Wow.
Unless I was somebody else far more fancy than I am who wants to swan in and be like, you know what I want to do? I want to do the story of how Yoda got his cane.
You gotta be a big F to get that. And I mean Filoni or Favreau.
One of the two.
One of the two. And let's talk about one of them right now. Jon Favreau, kids, directed a Star Wars motion picture, just like he's been making Star Wars fun for the last few years. I'll never forget, told this story a zillion times, going to the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on our break when we were touring Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. So I had not seen The Mandalorian yet because we were on the road and stuff. But I'd heard about the Baby Yoda show and everybody was like, oh my God. So I'm going to the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker. And as I'm walking in on a red carpet, who do I bump into? But Fabs. Jon Favreau, who we're not like fucking tight or anything, but I've known Fabs over the years and stuff. I don't know if I would go so far as to say we're friends, but we're certainly friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I was like, Fabs. And he was like, hey, well, look at you. And I said, hey man, I can't stop hearing about that Mandalorian show. Everybody talk about Baby Yoda, man. Who did that? And he goes, I did it. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I wrote this show. I said, oh, I thought you just directed it. He goes, no, I wrote and directed it. And I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Everybody talking about it and stuff. And he goes, here. And he gave me a challenge coin. He carries around a lot. He's into challenge coins and stuff. And it had the symbol that the Mandalorian has, on his shoulder. And, and then I finally went and watched the show like a week later. Fucking adored it, man. Like this guy's playing backyard Boba Fett, like in real time with human beings, as opposed to his action figures and stuff. So I dug the show from the fucking jump. Star Wars was born out of old episodic serials, meant to be a throwback to that. So it coming full circle and becoming an episodic serial of sorts, I thought was rather poetic, and the show was fucking damn good. And they were doing Star Wars, but without doing the same Star Wars, without doing the Skywalker saga until they fucking did the greatest thing of all time and brought Luke Skywalker into the fucking Mandalorian universe and let him be the Luke Skywalker we all wanted to see in the sequel trilogy, but didn't quite get. We got old man Luke instead. So Mandalorian, man, was just a minor miracle. And I know people have feelings about like where the seasons went and where Boba Fett was and all of that. And that's in terms of that series and stuff. But it honestly, you got to admit, it's probably the most exciting thing that has happened to Star Wars in the last decade or maybe more. I would argue that the fucking Mandalorian and Baby Yoda more exciting, made more of an impact than the sequel trilogy. I'm not saying not, they made as much money. Obviously, you have a metric to measure with the box office, and they made a lot of money with those sequel trilogies. But they just did a thing recently. There was some metric online of like the top 10 Star Wars things, and none of those sequels were even on the list. So one could argue that they didn't necessarily make a cultural impact where we're, oh my God, like even Jar Jar Binks made a cultural impact. you know. So I would argue, and nobody's asking me and shit, but as a longtime fan, deeply invested in this franchise since I was 7 years old, and I'm now 55. So I've been, 48 years of my fucking life wasted on my mythology that I grew up with, or enhanced, depending on how you look at it. So for me, I think it's fair to say Baby Yoda, Mandalorian, most exciting thing that happened to Star Wars. Now, you can't argue that it was a new thing because it's basically both Yoda and a guy who looks like Boba Fett are concepts that have been around for a while. But that was the beauty of The Mandalorian, was the remix and taking Star Wars to a different place and then throwing in little references to the toys we had and shit like that and characters. Like, all of it was just a good ass fucking time. Ended what, 3 years ago, 5 years ago? How long ago was that series done?
I mean, Batman might have a better grasp on it, but I think it was like 3 years ago was the end of season 3.
And it's been 7 years since a Star Wars movie was in theaters. That's back when the rise of Skywalker was happening. So Mandalorian happened or began then 7 years ago, I guess. So the question then, a lot of people seem to have is like, why did this happen so fucking late? Like, after shouldn't they have handed off from the series to the movie or whatnot? And I guess I don't have answers for you and stuff. I've seen some interviews where even Jon Favreau is like, I don't know why they wanted this movie, but they wanted this movie. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was kind of that. He wasn't throwing Disney under the bus, but he was just going like, they just said they wanted it, and so they went for it and stuff. So
yeah, if I had to guess, and it would be purely a guess, but they were going to do a 4th season of Mandalorian show. And then they realized, well, okay, we could do a 4th season of this show, or we could sort of, as you say, remix, condense, refashion the story that we were going to tell into a movie. And rather than give it away for whatever, $15 a month to people who were already giving us $15 a month, or we can put in the movies and suddenly people have to pay for it. And now the thing that had been basically a teat for the fandom to suck on turned into a thing the fandom had to pay for.
Poetically put. And out of that teat, blue milk, my friends.
Indeed.
Speaking of which, blue milk available at the one and only Scum. See that dog behind me? Scum and Villainy Cantina. Proprietor of which, the massive Star Wars fan, Banff Man, is here, ladies and gentlemen. What is your understanding? Was this meant to be a season 4 and then they retconned it into a movie, or was it?
I know that there was once upon a time, there was a movie that they were calling The Event. And the event was supposed to be the culmination of, it was supposed to be the end game of this era of Star Wars that was supposed to loop in Ahsoka, The Mandalorian, Rangers of the New Republic, which got canceled because of Gina Carano, and probably something else. And then that went away the same way, like, seemingly Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy went away, and
the Game of Thrones guys
Squadron, the Game of Thrones, the Damon Lindelof, the Kevin Feige. They've announced quite a few movies that have all disappeared very quietly. That was one of them. So I don't know. I don't know if they had a plan or have quite a plan, other than the fact that they were probably like, people seem to like The Mandalorian, and we can tell that story. We have the volume and the sets and the costumes ready to go.
I ain't bumping into it. I'll take Mando in any form I can get it, especially because the people doing it seem to care. They're real, their attention to detail is exquisite. Somebody once told me as a compliment, they were like, I like what you do. Like, if I was you, I'd be doing it the same way you do it. And I was like, oh, thank you. I felt very complimented by that. Somebody playing me like an avatar, so to speak. Same here. I look at this movie, I go, oh my God, that's what I would do if I was like, if I had any creativity and I was in charge. I would just fucking be like, what did I do with my action figures when I was a kid? Because it shines through in the joy. So I that's all a long way of fucking saying like that's the world into which the Mandalorian was released. Financially, you know, it made close to 100 million for the 4 days. I think it clocked in at 98, but worldwide, of course, higher than that, which turned out to be a record for a Star Wars movie, but in the negative. Winds up being the lowest grossing opening for a Star Wars film ever. And there are think pieces online about how, hey, man, this is pretty good for a TV show that became a movie and stuff. And other think pieces that are like, yeah, but it's Star Wars, like the American mythology. No, you know, it didn't do what we wanted it to do financially, business side. I ain't here to talk about the business of it all. We'll have a discussion about that afterwards. I'm just talking about what I saw, what I bought, and what I thought. Saw it twice, 40X screening, saw it once, Smodcast Cinema. Second time I saw it, Dave Klein, who was our DP on Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Red State, Zagamiri Mega Porno, Clerks 2, Cop Out. He had quite the glow up in his career. He's been Lucasfilm DP on a lot of shit for the last like 3-5 years at this point. So he was the DP. Baby Dave Klein shot Mandalorian and Grogu. So, you know, does that mean I'm in the pocket for it? Look, I'm in the pocket for most things Star Wars. But naturally, I was very happy for my friend. And when I saw the movie, even happier for him, because I'm like, oh my God, there's one shot in that movie that really like took me out of the movie in the best possible way. It's when what are the little aliens called? Anzellans?
Anzellans.
The Anzellans and Grogu are in a fucking cockpit of a ship. And it's just a quiet shot where they're flying. And, you know, it's the kind of the standard Millennium Falcon cockpit shot. But not a single one of the fucking characters in the shot are human beings. It's all puppets. And it took me out of the movie in a good way because I was like, fucking what a fun day at work that must have been for the DP. You know, you can't really insult anybody or step on their feelings or light them poorly. They're fucking puppets. They're not gonna bitch. I thought it was so much fucking fun. It was exactly what I needed it to be. I was it long? Yes. I would have made it shorter. Like the catfish guy, that was its own episode that they could have easily excised. Like, you know, one of the 40X screening, when Grogu went back for like the 19th time, somebody in our audience like laughed out loud, you know, not mockingly, but like, oh, like, and it did. At that moment, you were like, I get it. It's called The Mandalorian and Grogu, so you want Grogu to have his own little adventure, but his adventure was just stealing fucking food and from a catfish and catfish giving
catfish from a catfish.
Yeah, like if I was gonna, you know, I'm an editor, so naturally I don't look for, but like that was the one section where I was like, well, I'd lift that. Other than that, no notes whatsoever. I had a good ass fucking time. Opening sequence with the AT-ATs, which I've now seen, like Dave, when he was on stage doing the Q&A, he referred to as AT-AT.
Yeah, and which will never truck with me.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot. And they asked Favreau in an interview I saw, they were like, is it AT-AT or AT-AT? And he goes, you know, it's whatever you're comfortable with. He's going, but in the military, they say the letters. So, and so I realized Dave picked that up from fucking, you know, hanging out with Fabs and shit. AT-AT.
Can I jump in on that?
Yes.
Because we are all of an age. George Lucas and ILM did not name him Hammerhead and did not name those. I mean, he named Greedo because Greedo is said by Han Solo, but those were all named by Kenner. The AT-AT was named by Kenner. It wasn't named by Lucasfilm. And in the original toy commercial for the AT-AT, I believe it may have been Christian Slater, who was the actor in that commercial, calls it in AT-AT, not in AT-AT. So you can say whatever you want about the canon of Star Wars, but in real life, those are AT-ATs.
Yeah.
That's based on the origin story.
Yeah.
Of the name.
I agree. But, you know, hey, man, you say tomato, I say tomato. Guess what? I can call it AT-AT all day long. They gave Jon Favreau all the money. So maybe maybe he knows what he's fucking doing. That opening sequence was a fucking blast. Seeing Sigourney, I said after both screenings, I said, here's my 3 big takeaways. I said, seeing Ripley fly an X-Wing was trippy and something I didn't know that I necessarily needed or wanted in my life, but there it was. Seeing the chessboard and the pieces played out in life size was an absolute fucking delight. And Hutt's sleep in a 69. I had no fucking idea about it. The Hutt's, like, I always loved Jabba the Hutt, of course, one of the world's biggest fucking puppets, probably the biggest puppet in film, shy of King Kong, Dino De Laurentiis' King Kong, and Audrey too, in Little Shop of Horrors. But that was a big puppet that just and it took many people to operate him, but he didn't move. He just sat there and shit. Watching the Hutts move in this movie was dope. Going to Now Hutta, I know they did that in the cartoons and shit. Dope. Like, all of it was like, oh, that's neat, man. And fucking Rada the Hutt storyline, I enjoyed the fuck out of. Harder, the fighter with the heart of gold, who doesn't want to be like his dad. Trope, sure, but like, I'm fucking there for it. And watching him fight and fucking, I saw somebody put up on Instagram or somewhere on social media a picture of him, of Rada, and it said, controversial take, would smash. And a bunch of people talking about how they'd fuck Rada the Hutt because muscles look good in any galaxy or whatever the fuck. I thought that storyline was fun. I enjoyed myself, man. It was a good ass time. There was one point where I was like, oh, I guess the movie's over. They got Rada the Hutt back. And then, so weird. Sometimes I forget I work in movies and I'm like, check your watch, idiot. We were only at the halfway mark. So I was like, yeah, no, there's a lot more going to happen. A lot of movie they packed into that 2 hours, man. But you do get the distinct impression that Favreau is playing backyard Boba Fett, taking his action figures and dropping them in the pool. Like, how many times did people go in the water in this shit? Like, it was just that kind of imagination and that kind of fun. Could it have been a season of the show? I guess. You could have broken that up into, how long was the show? Like 6 or 8 episodes a season?
Yeah, I think it was 8, sometimes 10, right? Maybe.
Could have done it, I guess, but I did not bump into it being a movie one iota, man. So, my bar is never as high as most, and I know a lot of people are like, come on, fucking after Andor, we're going to watch this. But, Star Wars wasn't always Andor, and it started as a fun, takeoff on serials. And for me, this was a return to its origin material of sorts. So I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I watched it twice. And like I said, the only thing I bump into is the catfish on the porch stuff. Felt like it was kind of unnecessary. But, again, I think every movie is too long these days. You always see my shit. My shit's like 90 tops. So good times were had by all as far as I'm concerned. What about y'all?
JC, do you want to hop in?
Yeah,
not fucking bad. You're like, let JC.
Or do you want me to walk into the buzzsaw?
I'm gonna go lighter on it than you will, because if I say bad stuff, people won't come by blue milk at Scum and Villainy. So,
oh my god.
I'll lead with this. The only thing I could think about watching the Hutt twins fight Rada the Hutt at the end was, this is what the end of Tusk would have looked like if the budget was $98 million higher. Like Michael Parks and Justin Long slamming their bodies against each other. If we had $100 million to do Tusk, that's what the end of Tusk's fight would have been like.
That's true. Yes. If we had loot and shit, other than 2 people in costumes that didn't. I mean, it's so weird now that you mention it. Never put this together. Tusk kind of has a Jabba shape to him.
Yeah, it felt very Tusk to me, like a very, very expensive Tusk.
Very expensive. Jon Favreau going like, hold my beer.
It felt like 4 episodes of the show that didn't quite make the cut in season 3. Season 3 felt like 10 episodes of the show that didn't make the cut in season 2. Mm-hmm. It was cool to see a Man-O-Man, the action figure, come to life. who, was the guy in Jabba's the green and yellow action
The
figure.
The flat face. Yeah, they brought
Yeah.
a lot of those to life. There was a few of them.
People are like, it's
Also,
good.
in the AT-AT, man, fucking at one point those little ships launched out. I had
Yeah.
that fucking ship. Like those little ships that they marketed, Kenner put out there that we never saw in the fucking movie. It's kind of dope to have that validated, man. If my mom was still alive, I would have called her and been like, Ma, remember that fucking cheap toy you bought at Two Guys? It's legit. They put it in Star Wars.
I have it over here somewhere still. I just wish there was a little bit more of a character arc for any of the characters. Like, one of my favorite parts of the Mandalorian show was the Bryce Dallas Howard episode where they don't talk very much, but Mando and Grogu bond over the little gear shift knob thing, which was in the movie, but like Grogu didn't respond to it after, seeing it again, and Mando didn't. I thought that was kind of weird. I thought it was kind of weird that Mando tells Grogu to heal a couple times. Like, could you imagine if I was walking around, my daughter was acting up, and I was like, heal, Heidi, heal. It's like, is it your kid or is it a dog? Is it your pet? So there is some stuff that I bumped against. But your excitement for the movie made me more excited about it.
Is that what I was missing? Somebody to sit next to who was excited?
So Jason Mewes did that for me after I saw BVS, Batman v Superman, the first time. And I was like, oh, man. And then I saw it with Jay. And the first time I was like, where is beautiful and it looks fucking cool, but where's where's the heart? Then when I went to see it with Jay found, no, it wasn't BVS. Which was, I think it was, no, it must have been BVS. Yes, because it was the first time we saw Parademons. So in that Batman, the nightmare sequence, as soon as we saw Parademons, and this is the second time I saw it, Jay was sitting next to me and he was like, fucking Parademons. And he was so excited that made me excited and made me like the movie more. So I understand what you're saying. Like it does help if you've got somebody else there who's like, no, man, come on, this rocks. And you're like, yeah, I guess it does rock and shit. Not you're Mr. Marc Bernardin, I'm guessing, but still.
I mean,
you need an army of people on either side of Mark going like, it's good, Mark.
I mean, people are calling me out in the chat. They're like, sorry, the gear shift knob ruined the movie. I'm like, I didn't say it ruined the movie. All I said was, typically, when you're watching something, at the beginning of a thing, a character, the lead characters are one way, and by the end they should be another way. And this isn't the case. Like, even if when Grogu spent 20 minutes building Yoda's hut to put Mandalorian in, like, and then Mando, he wakes up and Mando's alive. Like, if Grogu had just walked over and said, like, Papa, or Mando, or like you got his first word, so you saw him evolve a little bit, like, I would have been like, oh, that's great. That's so, look at Grogu grow.
And it would have felt like movie worthy, like, oh shit.
Yeah, man, we got his first word.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point.
But we just kind of get them doing things, which is fine. I mean, like you said, it reminds me of when I was in third grade playing with my Star Wars toys and the type of adventures I would have with my friends that never had character development either. So it was fine.
All right, so you got one. I had a good time. You have one. It was mid.
Where do we go from here?
From the point of view, kids. Here's Mr. Marc Bernardin. I'm so curious. I mean, honestly, you're one of the only people I thought of when I was watching this movie. I was like, I need somebody very smart to tell me how I feel about this, and I know exactly what that is.
I mean, the challenge is somewhat substantial. We're making a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. There's an audience that has watched 3 seasons of that show. And some of the criticism about season 3 was, I have to do so much fucking homework to understand who Bo-Katan and a Darksaber and the Mandalorian Creed and all of this stuff is supposed to be. It's a little bit too much more homework than I want to do. And then it's we're making a mass release movie. We're putting in 4,200 screens. We have to assume that some people are going to come to this and not know anything. So how do we make a movie that the on ramp is incredibly smooth? And somehow this movie did neither of those things. In that I don't know what Mandalorian wants or needs at any point during that movie, other than I got to complete this lady's deck of cards, which doesn't seem like it's an emotional thing Mando wants. It feels like it's a thing that Sigourney Weaver wants. So what does he want? Does he want to be closer to his ward, who he has successfully wrested from being a Jedi and turned him into a Mandalorian? Does he want freedom? Does he want to just go from planet to planet and take bounties? Why does he want these things? And then what does he need? Like Indiana Jones is famously a character who does not go through very much growth, but over the course of Raiders of the Lost Ark, what does he want? He wants to find the fucking Ark of the Covenant. What does he need? He needs to reckon with his past with Marion. And those two things collide once he needs Marion to find the Ark of the Covenant.
Famously, that's a movie where like he could not exist in the movie and it still happens as it happens, right?
The Nazis would have opened the Ark on the Nazi island and they all would have died anyway, whether Indiana Jones shows up or not. Similarly, this movie would have existed and everything that happened would have happened if Grogu isn't in that film at all. Like Grogu maybe lets him into a room or two.
Now hold on, Mark. There was a whole 48 minutes of that movie where Grogu was very necessary. Apparently, he made friends with a catfish on a porch in order to get the medicine so that we could have a third act. No?
I mean, if you had told me that Grogu by himself figured out how to use the Force to heal his best friend, here for it.
Yeah.
Grogu
why didn't they
steals
do that?
fish from a dude who is somehow nice to him and somehow intuits that his friend is dying of a bite of a creature that the fucking Grogu cannot explain what it is because he can't talk. But that dude knows. And that dude on his own fucking recognizance decides, I'm going to make a paste for you to feed your friend. Grogu doesn't convince him. Grogu doesn't use the Force. He doesn't do anything. He just relies on the kindness of strangers who should not be kind to a little guy who steals his fucking food. Like, I don't know what Grogu wants or needs, because Grogu famously cannot convey to an audience who speaks English or French or Dutch or anything what he wants or what he needs. He just makes noises. Now Chewbacca just makes noises.
Do you think babies can understand Grogu?
Like
if you're a baby watching that show, or you're like, what are you all fucking nuts? I know exactly what you're fucking.
You'll never know because we don't speak baby either.
JC, you got a young one. Does she seem to intuit what Grogu's after? Do you let her Grogu at this age or no?
I mean, I would. She's not really. She waves at flags and birds. She's not.
Your daughter's like, look, I don't know why this needed to be a movie. Should have been season.
Yeah.
So like I just like the opening 20 minutes were like a ton of fun and like, yeah, awesome, man, they're doing cool shit. And in ATSTs, whatever it is, like that's super fun. Because it is the first adventure in a James Bond movie or an Indiana Jones movie that is disconnected from the main plot. But once the main plot starts, it is not about the Mandalorian and it is not about Grogu. It's about other people who want other things. And so I just kept waiting for some moment where we're engaging, where we learn something, where, not that I want it to be like fucking Star Wars checking boxes and bingo, but like, show me Luke Skywalker, show me Ahsoka Tano, show me some other character that you've established, show me Cad Bane, show me, fucking whoever Timothy Oliphant played, whose name I can't remember. Show me the things that the show has built over the years that we have formed some attachment to. Movie doesn't do that because it wants to welcome new people, but then it doesn't give them new things. It doesn't give them any things, really. It gives you Hutts, and Hutts were better when they were puppets. Like every time I see a digital Hutt, I'm like, guys, I don't know. It felt like a bad idea when George reinserted it into A New Hope. It still feels like a bad idea. Feels like it should be a puppet. And this is a movie that loves fucking puppets. I mean, to your point, Kev, I was so fucking pleased when you just have 5 puppets on a screen and nobody's really talking English, but we can kind of get what they're doing, but it's all for kind of comedy and fun and emotion and like, yeah, fucking puppets. There's that big fight in the third act where Mando shows down with the 2 giant robots that are in Nal Hutta.
Mm.
That's all stop motion. Like
Bill
they
Tippett.
fucking yeah, they went old school with it. They went fucking
That's the guy who made
Harryhausen.
the AT-ATs walk in the first place in Empire Strikes Back. The guy who made the fucking Ed 209 or whatever fuck walk in RoboCop, and they brought him back to do these. Am I right, JC?
Yeah, and he was the guy who did the stop motion on the Dejeric board in A New Hope. Isn't that cool?
That's
So
right.
he saw, yeah,
That
that came,
chessboard. Yes, yes, you're
yeah.
absolutely fucking right. How lovely,
It
like
was great.
to bring that in and play that. You know, Fabs is a true fucking filmmaker. Say what you will about the movie, but Iron Man still remains for me like one of my all-time favorite studio motion pictures and movie experiences. Like it's up there with Star Wars and it's near perfection, you know.
Yeah. You
So
know,
this guy knows that what he's doing and puts his heart into it all. He never phones it in, and he throws in enough personal touches to fucking satisfy a fan, a longtime fan. But it's clear he never doesn't know what he's doing. This guy is fucking born to direct at this point.
absolutely. But and there's a moment, one of
And
my
I'm not
favorite
fighting you. I'm just saying that's just an observation.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's a moment in the first Iron Man that works because the casting is so great and the twist is so great. And it's when Jeff Bridges is revealed to be the bad guy. And I'm like, oh, what a fucking great twist. When your hero who has trusted him as his advisor and mentor, he turns out to be the villain. And I kept waiting for some shoe to drop in Mandalorian where I kept waiting for Sigourney Weaver to be the bad guy. I kept waiting for her to be the person who had made a deal with the Hutts and had already mortgaged Mando in order to keep the deal and the information flowing from the Hutts. And so she was the one who hired the bounty. She was the one who hired, Enbo to go after him. Because otherwise, she's a good guy who's just a good guy who's just a good guy. And the bad guys are bad guys, and there's no complication to anything. It's just, all right, it's okay. Mando's gonna get captured twice. He's gonna end up in both the fucking pit games, and he's gonna end up in Jabba's palace as a prisoner, because of course he is, because you don't set up Nal Hutta to not return to Nal Hutta. And of course he's gonna escape, and of course, and of course, and of course. And like I was never surprised at much of anything that happened in the movie, mostly because I wasn't emotionally invested in much of anything that happened in the movie. And everything that was happening felt like it was on rails. Um, and so like I didn't mind it, I didn't hate it. I was just kind of bored by it and surprised at how little was happening most of the time. Um, and yeah, it's hard to jumpstart a new world. And I get it, but like when I think of a movie like The Incredibles, which is starting from ground zero, and you have all of these fucking characters and complications and internal connections and emotional investment, and like find me a paradigm to stick with. Like if it's going to be Lone Wolf and Cub, great, let it be Lone Wolf and Cub. Let somebody be in jeopardy. Let somebody need the other person to grow. Nobody grows in this movie. They start and end in the exact same place. As like they don't even do the bit where they start in the Razor Crest and Grogu presses the wrong buttons, and Mando's like, "Stop pressing buttons. I told you not to press buttons. That's a mercury capacitor and not a blah blah blah." And then he needs Grogu to pilot the ship, and he learned how to do it. That he paid attention for the last 3 seasons and knows how to pilot the ship. That would be cool. Don't do it. They don't do it. Like, hey, your best friend slash surrogate daddy's being dragged away by a bounty hunter. Could you use the force to save him? Nope. But I'll save fucking Rada Hut when he's about to go into a pit of evil pale snakes, because that is a good use of the force. Okay. Okay. It mystified me more than anything. Of just like how could we spend $95 million? How could we decide to make a movie like this and not kind of just give some very simple, basic emotional hooks?
JC, I think you guys need a spotlight for this.
Uh,
I wind down.
I'm just listening at this point, and I honestly need a filter to hear all this hate for a movie that had so much heart. Thank you.
I will put one thing out there that I think Mark and I can both agree on, which is as the movie begins, top billing is Pedro Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Jeremy the Bear, Alan White. Third billing, did you notice who it was?
Yeah, Brendan Wayne
and Lateef Crowder, which for 3 seasons of that show got. They were like, Pedro Pascal's not actually in the suit. It was like hushed whispers that he wasn't actually in the suit for so long until it started coming out that I think Favreau and Filoni in the feature film, putting those guys as number 3 and number 4 in the upfront credits ahead of Martin Scorsese and Sigourney Weaver was a really cool way to start that movie.
Wait, who was the Wayne one? I know that's the man. Who's the other name you said?
Lateef Crowder is another one of the guys that does stunts in the suits.
Oh, is that right? So
yeah,
what's the other cat's name? That's John Wayne's grandson,
Brendan Wayne.
Brendan Wayne. So the two of them play Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool that they got credited up front, because
that's
kind
of
a
awesome.
fucking performance, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Like, you're on screen all the time. There was an aspect of anytime a real human being popped on screen, I was disappointed. Because I was having such a good time watching Favreau play with his action figures. You know what? I'm going to be quiet. You guys talk.
Yeah. I mean, I got to say, I expected a little bit more Pedro in the movie.
Me too.
Like I thought that the Hutts taking his mask off and keeping it as a trophy, I thought that was great. And then there's a world in which you keep his mask off until he goes back and kills those Hutts and reclaims his helmet. And so then in the fucking pit, he's got the mask off. When Grogu saves him, he's got the mask off. When Grogu is tending to him lovingly like a surrogate father in the womb that he builds for him in the jungle, he's got the mask off. So all of that stuff gets to play with a human person and the most adorable puppet in the world. Like,
do you think over under Pedro Pascal was on set for 3 days?
It's like, how long does Pedro want to stay in the water pit? How long do we need? I'm sure he was on set for about as long as it took them to shoot the trash compactor sequence in A New Hope. Because that's what that scene is, and I bet you it's 3 or 4 days in a hot tub, but not much longer than that. And he otherwise was never on set. And I'm sure that was a contractual thing. Was like, how long can we get Pedro? We can get him for 4 days. All right, well, we got to build a story in which we only get him for 4 days. Because he's got to be in 5 other movies.
The other thing that I thought was interesting is in the show, he doesn't have the mustache. In this, he has the mustache. So if you're his agent, is that written into everything now that he cannot shave? And if you are Din Djarin and you are never allowed to remove your helmet, why are you so concerned about how your mustache looks underneath the helmet when nobody will ever see it? I mean, he could be Grizzly Adams or he could be clean shaven, but why does he have a perfectly coiffed facial hair if nobody's ever allowed to see his face?
Yeah, like if he never takes the fucking mask off, he should be Jesus under there, right? It should just be long hair covering his face and a full ass like Grizzly Adam beard, like neck beard all day, because he's never taking the fucking helmet off. When is he space shaven with a laser razor? Like, no, he should be the hairiest bear in the woods. But
yeah,
oh man, he's got to be Burt Reynolds under there.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah. I'm like it's just it's a litany of decisions that I get have to be made. And in a vacuum, each one of them makes sense. But, in total, it doesn't amount to very much. It doesn't amount to what feels like drama. It doesn't amount to emotional engagement. It doesn't amount to new. Like, I'm not saying that you should have saved, because there's no way for them to know this, but like, you got to give me something big. It's a movie. You got to give me a reason to be in the movie theater. And if you tell me that this movie ends with fucking Luke Skywalker showing up and we hadn't seen that before, and it's like, oh my God, oh my fucking God, did Luke Skywalker just show up? Would have been great. I don't know what the version that is post Luke Skywalker showing up. Is it Ahsoka? Maybe. Is it Thrawn? Probably not.
You'd have to go way over the top, man, to beat that Luke Skywalker moment. I mean, they couldn't have predicted there was going to be a fucking Mandalorian movie. So there was, you can't be like, man, they should have held it for the movie. That was one of the greatest fucking moments in Star Wars history, right up there with in recent Star Wars history, particularly, right up there with Vader going fucking ham at the end of Rogue One. So I thought of that when I was watching this movie, because I was like, wow, man, that was such a high watermark, like crossing over the old with the new. And the closest they get to a moment like that here is, just carrying over the story of Rada the Hutt from both Return of the Jedi, kind of, because he's Jabba's kid, and also, what was that, from the Rebels, or where was Rada introduced?
The Clone Wars movie, which came out in 2008.
I mean, listen, I don't ever want to be.
That popped up, which got a laugh both times I saw it, when they were like, "This is a young picture of." This is the last picture we have of him, and he was like a little fucking baby. Somebody said that was from the actual cartoon.
I mean, yeah, it was. Somebody goes, the only thing that could top Luke could be a Han and Chewie flyby. What if Han and Chewie came down and saved him? Or, look, I'm in complete Andor, like, it's my favorite thing in the world. Even if Genevieve O'Reilly had showed up as Mon Mothma with the Return of the Jedi style hair to like interrupt Sigourney Weaver and be like, Mando, we need you for these reasons. Or like Mark said, Sigourney Weaver was the bad guy and Mon Mothma shows up at the end to tie it into Andor and all the stuff we've seen. I've been like, man, that would have been, how cool would that have been?
And like, I'm never going to be the person to be like, my favorite part of Rise of Skywalker was when somehow Palpatine returned. But you could have fucking put Palpatine in this movie to help tee up him eventually returning, or something to connect it to a larger universe, something to make it feel epic.
Which is a really good point, because they did the entire cartoon of Bad Batch, which is all about Palpatine trying to clone somebody with Force powers. All of season 1 and season 2 of Mandalorian about Palpatine trying to clone someone with Force powers, trying to contextualize the sequel movies. And then you release this movie and you're like, we're going to let go of that plot. Like, that's the most interesting part to me, is like, Thrawn's coming back. They're cloning Palpatine, or Palpatine's trying to clone people with the midichlorians, the M count. But like, let's do a catfish.
Yeah.
They could have saved time and money, because that catfish was one big ass CG effect.
There's a lot of CG effects, some of which look good, some of which don't.
Yeah, somebody, Paul Davis is
like, you know how you make a CG effect look good, even if it's not? Jay and Silent Bob's Banana Hammock. Available in every state that carries Jeter, man. Swing in Jay and Silent Bob's Banana Hammock. I just did, and it's making all this easier.
Go down easy.
I'm sitting here accepting it, going like, well, all got points.
Somebody in chat goes, what if Catfish Guy wasn't Catfish? What if it was retired Jar Jar Binks?
Oh, like fucking there. Like, yes. Like, yes.
Bring him back.
Yeah, just anything. Like, but yes, like, that's what a great idea. And here we are reaching for like the original 3 because of Luke, but That would be an equally fucking awesome pull. When was the last time they did Jar Jar?
Clone
Wars.
Clone Wars.
Fucking hey, what a great idea. That would have been, and what fan service. And he's already kind of like those Anzelians are from the sequel.
Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker.
Yeah. So he's already mixing the fucking eras. I mean, this is ridiculous for us to Monday morning quarterback about it, but that would have been a fun fucking idea. You're right. That would have made all of that material useful, where you're just like, oh, what a fucking piece of fan service that would have been. They got to talk to you. Did you read that somewhere? Or you just came up with that?
No, somebody said it in chat.
Fucking good idea. Who said that in chat? Lucasfilm.
Let me find. Paul Davis, 2058.
Fucking well done, man. Paul Davis, when I look in your eyes, I go crazy. Thank you. It's deep cuts pop reference. Man, that would have made it work for me so much better. Now you'd be like, well, it's the same fucking beat. It slows the story down and shit. Yeah, but it would have been Jar Jar. So that beat would have been worth it, because you would have been like, oh shit, first time we've seen him since when?
You also like
back, what's his name to play him?
Yeah, Ahmed. And Grogu could have tried to steal the fish, and his tongue grabs it, and he's like, and then maybe Grogu, or you could have had a mini adventure with Grogu and Jar Jar, where they have to sneak into the hut thing to get the antidote to bring back, instead of having him just mix something up in a little bowl.
I'm having one of them sting like multiple fucking hour-long orgasms. This is all so good.
He's at tantric speed.
God damn it. That's like that. Yes. All of what you said. But you know what? That being said, I'm not like, oh, I didn't like what we did get. But you're right. Like, that would have redeemed that character for me if I'm like, oh shit. And I'm, no shade that they didn't do it, but I'm surprised they didn't have a moment like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a world where, you've established with that show that like fucking Luke Skywalker came back. Like, it just felt like you needed something like that. It was great seeing the AT-ATs and whatnot, but yeah, it felt like, whatever happened to the Tauntauns? They showed us Tauntauns in one of the commercials.
Yeah, no Tauntauns.
I think that was a Super Bowl commercial take on the Budweiser Clydesdales, and not like it was. That was what a dirty tease that was. I waited for that the whole movie.
Once they got out of the snow, I was like, uh-oh.
I was like, why are they going to go back to the snow so I can see Tauntauns?
I guess they're going to save them for the third act.
I mean, it's funny. Like, I feel as if, and I cannot have claimed to have watched very many of the Taylor Sheridan universe, but I've seen enough to know that is a dude who doesn't get notes from anybody, and what he writes is what he wants, and what he wants is what they shoot. And it's starting to feel as if Star Wars is also becoming insulated from internal gut checks, because Dave is the keeper of the Grail. He is the chosen one, and John is the Mandalorian whisperer, and the two of them together can do whatever they want to do. And sometimes that's great. Sometimes you get Luke, but then sometimes it becomes an exercise in insularity. It becomes an exercise in how many Clone Wars and Rebels characters can we put into live action, because wouldn't it be cool? And I'm not entirely sure who it's cool for, except for those guys. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's an awful movie. I've seen worse movies, but I just think that the bar was high, and I don't think it cleared it. And it did, like, on the tail of, I was talking to JC before we rolled, I watched the Darth Maul show, Shadow Lord, which I love. I fucking loved it. It's great. It's great, even though it's a character that I did not follow at all in the Clone Wars show, even though it's set at a period that feels very Clone Wars-y. The show gave you enough context to understand what Maul was up to. It introduced characters for you that had wants and needs and internal drives, and it gave you twists and it gave you turns, and the animation is great, and Maul is fucking awesome. And spoilers, Darth Vader shows up, and he's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like it does for you what you hoped Mando and Grogu would do, um, in a way that feels far more efficient and far more emotional. But it did, have me start to think about what it means to be a Star Wars fan, what it means to tell a Star Wars story, and how odd of a fucking enterprise Star Wars is at this point, which is every other franchise either follows a singular character or a singular team of characters on their adventures, or it follows a singular story. You got your James Bonds and your Rockies and your Indiana Joneses, and they're the character you're following. That's it. We're on for a fucking Rambo adventure, and that's what we're getting. Or the Marvel Universe's big innovation was we're going to start seeding all of these characters in their own movies, but they're going to be telling the same story. It is all going to be leading to a thing. It is all going to be dealing with Thanos, or Loki before him, or Ultron after him. Like it's all following on the same stream. Star Wars is in a place where there is no prime story anymore. There is no singular tale we're trying to tell in which Shadow Lord feeds into it, and Mando and Grogu feeds into it, and Andor kind of does because it feeds into the Skywalker saga. But we're not telling that story anymore. So what are we doing? Everything feels like a spinoff of a spinoff of a spinoff that doesn't have any weight because it can't, because we're not telling a big story anymore. And so every time a new Star Wars comes down the pike, I'm like, hey man, Starfighter could be great. I don't know what story we're telling. I don't know how it affects anything because I've got this giant universe that we're trying to tend like a garden, although we don't grow the same thing anymore. And so it's all kind of like blurry in my head. And I don't know how you fix it without doing one of those two things, which is completely fucking pruning the garden. So we're telling one story again, or finding a singular character to follow. And then we tell that story.
But
As it is, it's just uncharted.
But it gives you the opportunity to tell the Rogue One, to tell the Andor, to tell the Maul in a self-contained way. Even did you watch Skeleton Crew?
I did not know.
Skeleton Crew is
also shot by Dave Klein.
Is,
nice.
Kind of lives in its own little box and was really joyful, had great character development. And so you get an opportunity to really get inside of a character and tell you don't need the connected universe anymore because you can dive into, that's what I'm hoping we get from Starfighter. It's just like, hey, what if I was dropped on a spaceship in the middle of the Star Wars universe? And like, how would that be? I think that's kind of cool that there's not, you just kind of get dropped in as long as they set up a character, pay off that character as if it was its own IP almost, but plays by the rules of Star Wars.
Yeah. And I think discreetly, those stories can be super fun, but it's starting to feel more like Dungeons and Dragons than it is Star Wars, which is here's a series of rules, here's a series of monsters, here's a galaxy that you can play in. But there is no, like when you're making a Dungeons and Dragons movie, there's no story you're adapting. You're just in creating characters like you would in a D&D thing, and you're just going. So it starts to be like, well, what is it? What is it other than trappings? What is like, all right, the Force, great. It's just like a fucking magic spell. Okay, cool. But what is the thing that I'm going to get when I turn up to a Star Wars story that I couldn't get from any other science fiction story? And so I don't like what is the purpose of it being Star Wars if there's no Star Wars story? If it's just always Star Wars stories? Is it just an anthology at this point? Like, okay.
Sixth element of hip hop in chat says Filoni is giving us George's original sequel script in his series. Is that true? You ever hear that, Jason?
In Maul.
He did it in Maul?
George's sequel trilogy was Maul was going to come back and train a young apprentice who would become Darth Talon, which is what they're doing in Maul. Really, really interestingly as well.
That's what Lucas wanted to do?
Mm-hmm.
And who would have been in the sequel trilogy? Like, was it still Han, Luke, and Leia?
Han, Luke, and Leia. Like Rey and all of those characters were JJ
Right.
brought in. Which, to be fair, I think all those characters were phenomenal for about the first 90 minutes.
Why first 90? Yeah. What happens at the end?
Because you were kind of discovering who they were and how they were going to interact and the dynamics with them. And then it just kind of, I feel like the end of Force Awakens kind of fell apart. And then the next two movies happened, which more felt like a tug of war between different writers and directors than it did a planned trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Star Wars for the last decade and a half or so has been lots of interesting beginnings, but losing the thread or losing the will to follow those things through. Like the idea of one of your main characters being a defected stormtrooper is fascinating.
It's awesome.
And then they do absolutely nothing with the fact that he used to be a stormtrooper, other than he mentions, I used to mop the floors here. You know, until you get one sequence in the third movie where somebody's like, you're Finn. You rebelled. You turned your back on the First Order. Like, cool. Make that his story and not just a line somebody tells you. Like the Acolyte seemed really interesting to me of what if the Jedi were the bad guys? Like, what if they enlisted child soldiers to help them on a jihad across the galaxy? That feels like bad guy shit. Let's tell that story of people who believe staunchly that the Jedi are the villains. And then it makes the Jedi the hero again. It's like, well, no, stick to the idea that you had. Stick to the thing that made everybody excited. Don't sand the edges off what could be fascinating. And like that is, I mean, Andor manages to avoid that trap. I think the Darth Maul show manages to avoid that trap. I think season 2 of Mando avoids that trap of like, let's make it complicated. Let's make it weird. Let's make it a father who doesn't know what is best for his son and is willing to give him up if that means that's what's best for him. That's uncomfortable storytelling. That's emotionally heart-wrenching. And then they don't stick the landing on
it. May I say something that I liked?
Yes, sir.
I liked when they were in the AT-AT in the beginning and the one guy goes to get up there to face like the Mandalorian and the fucking the AT-AT driver's like, sir, we're pilots.
We don't do that.
Also putting the white vinyl, seeing the mask underneath and then putting the white vinyl on, that was really cool.
Loved it. And I asked Dave about that during the Q&A. I was like, when did, and he goes, that was in prep. John goes, what's under that? They said, like, they removed it. And he was like, oh my God, fucking, we're doing that. And then we'll have them put the thing on. So for, you know, an Empire Strikes Back fan, who when the stormtroopers, the snow troopers were introduced, they didn't do that. They didn't lift it up to be like, peekaboo, this is what's under. You just assumed it was a whole new thing. That was fucking cool. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's one line in the movie that I thought was the best line in the movie, which is something Mando says, and he goes, the old protect the young and the young protect the old as part of the Mandalorian. And I was like, oh, that's okay. That's in the same vein of this is the way and I have spoken. Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it felt a little bit to me like a Mando cover band. You know, like, I'm gonna play the hits. You know, we're not going to do any new material. We're not going to really like dig deep and give you a concept album. We're just going to play a bunch of singles that you like, you know, and we're going to do the action single here and the action single there. And we're going to do the fucking babbling creature thing there. We're going to do the stealing cookies thing here. We're going to kind of we're going to play the hits, but we're not going to give you the new album you were waiting for. We're not going to give you, you know, fucking Sign of the Times. You're going to get a live album, which is just us playing the fucking hits. Which I like the hits, but I wanted something new.
All right. We've
Delayed.
yeah, we've talked this into the ground. This is the way. Let us move on to something else. Did you watch the series finale of The Boys by any chance?
I have not. I have not. Did you
I'm
see?
all caught up. I've seen everything. Yeah, they ended. You know, I think they stuck the landing.
Yeah. I've been,
Crazy that there's not more noise about that. I mean, maybe I'm just not in any area of the internet where people are talking about it, and maybe I've been writing as well. But it's I would have thought that would have made a bigger fucking noise. All of a sudden, I
yeah.
was like, "What do you mean The Boys is already up?" And so I was able to watch like 8 or 9 episodes.
Yeah. I couldn't put a finger on why either. Like I think that Amazon promoted it. Like I definitely knew that it was coming, but I don't know what had happened at the same time that seemed to swallow the internet's attention. I'm sure it wasn't Widow's Bay, which I love. Have you seen any of Widow's Bay yet?
I have. Is somebody? Can you, JC, find it? Is Hank McGurk in chat is having a whole conversation, and I don't know if it's directed at me or not. Um, yeah, I don't. I'm getting lost in the.
I got it. I got it.
You know what it is? Is it me or is it just something that he's talking about and I'm checking it?
I think it's internet stuff. I'll take care of it.
Copy you. All right, man. Let's do la 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 la.
You want to do Punisher or Spider-Man?
Let's do Punisher. Fuck. I loved, what was it, One Last Kill?
Yeah.
This one shot, literally, well, not a one shot, multiple shots. Absolutely wonderful and crazy that Disney Plus made this. Like, remember when Disney Plus began and they were like, family. Now they put one of the most brutal fucking Punisher series of kills into media and like old fucking Disney fine. Same people that make the Moana remake
Mhm.
are fucking shooting and stabbing fuckers in the head brutally on camera in fantastic fight sequences. First half of One Last Kill, you get to watch John Barenthal give an absolute fucking clinic in performance. A one-man show where he's doing grief and madness and the madness that comes from grief as a human being, fights off the demons that, and the trauma that haunt and follow this character, Frank Castle. Then the second half is just some of the greatest fucking one-on-one kills you'll see in a TV show or a movie this year. It was fucking whole thing from top to bottom. I was absolutely fucking delighted. Manucci's in it and stuff like that. So like the nods to the comics are there. And John Barenthal, like, I said to my wife, I was like, that's the modern day Robert De Niro. And she goes, no, he's his own thing. And I said, he's absolutely his fucking own thing. But like the intensity, like the commitment to the craft, like he's like Damon, man, just like fucking like Christian Bale, just deep the fuck in it. You know what I'm saying? And he's given that kind of dedication. He can give it to anything. He make things real. He's one of the most convincing fucking actors working today. And he lent that authenticity to the Punisher. I absolutely loved it. And this seems to be the bridge between, Daredevil and Spider-Man. The guy we saw killing people in One Last Kill looks a little cleaned up in that Spider-Man trailer.
Yeah, that did me like because I guess I was in front of Mando and Grogu. They showed the most recent or the latest Spider-Man trailer, and I was like, that is not the same Punisher who's in One Last Kill. Like that dude looks like he's been to like a modicum of therapy, where he's like busting jokes. Because One Last Kill, that dude is grim as fuck.
Yeah,
I did think that there was this moment early on in One Last Kill when Frank is walking down the street to I guess the bodega and he's just seeing the mania of the city around him. I was like, oh, okay. What we're doing is we're now seeing the world as Frank Castle sees the world. The world is not actually this violent. The world is not actually like the Warriors meet Fort Apache, the Bronx meets, fucking Mad Max. But that's how he sees it. Like that's what his mental illness twists the world into for him. So this entirely subjective point of view. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fascinating. And then it drops it and it makes it like, it actually is like fucking the purge in the Bronx, apparently, all the time. Um, and then it becomes, yeah, it's John Wick, it's the raid, it's a bunch of like really interesting action movies all kind of wrapped up into the last 10 minutes. Um, and I dug it. I mean, he's great. He's always great. Um, I wanted to say a little bit more about his mental state beyond. I think I'm gonna give it up. I saw a guy kill a dog and somebody's daughter was about to be raped and murdered, and I decided to pick up the guns again. Um, but it was a diverting 45 minutes of Punisher insanity. So I'm glad we got it. If that was the price that Disney had to pay to get John Bernthal to be Punisher in the new Spidey movie, that's a price I'm glad they paid.
Is that what it was? He was like, I'll do it if you let me do this.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it was. If it was like, hey, I want to do this. I got an idea. I'm gonna co-write it. Uh and if you let me do this, then I'll gladly be in your Spider-Man movie. I'll gladly take some time off of the Odyssey to go be in the Punisher.
There's a bunch of folks in chat who did not like the Punisher. A lot of them saying that is not Frank Castle. Team Dreg said Punisher was underwhelming. The entire industry doing 1 million edits a minute during fight scenes is just a tad excessive. I don't know. I thought they were one of those that held on a fight shot for like a long time. Maybe I'm remembering it.
Yeah, I felt it was. Yeah,
I
it
didn't
wasn't
feel that
quite
was a chop heavy thing. I
right.
thought part of the point was let's show continuous fighting, like showcase it like they did in Daredevil. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't quite have that, sustained. Like John Wick does it incredibly well. Like the Raid does incredibly well. Where we're just gonna follow. We're just gonna hold on this shot. Camera's gonna move, but we're not gonna cut, and we're gonna sell it on the commitment of your lead actor. I thought they did a pretty decent job of it. I don't think they were. It wasn't in the blender the way some of these fight scenes can be.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but there's some people going like, nah. And Enerdtainment said, I do buy Barenthal as a PTSD torn ex-Marine, but I still think Ray Stevenson was what I want in a full package portrayal. Ray Stevenson's performance of the Punisher was wonderful. That whole Punisher, what was it? Punisher War Journal? No. Yeah.
No. Warzone.
Lexi
Alexander.
Man, I fucking love that movie. Like, I thought that was well done, and for my money, very hardcore Punisher take.
Yeah, like when he shot people, they turned to mist.
Yeah, I was in for the Punisher, man. What is it? All 13. Alien work, but it's spelled AL13N work. Frank Castle in a green hoodie didn't interest me. Yeah, there were moments I was like, come on, just put it on the thing, but they saved it for the end.
Do the thing.
Yeah. David Brewer 0528 in chat says, sorry, but you people in chat that didn't like Punisher Last Kill have never read any of the comics that Punisher was in. Controversial take.
Indeed. Well, go off, King.
Yeah, it's a good time. Genius Boy in chat says, I need Kev's take on Hacks. I've been enjoying Hacks this season. Their final episode is tonight. When I'm done doing this, I'm gonna head upstairs and watch Gene Smart wrap it up, man. It's been a good watch. That show is just wonderful and always fun watch for me. But going back to something you asked before, Widow's Bay.
Yes.
I did finally catch up with Widow's Bay and was absolutely loving it. And the episode where the girl finds the book and hosts the party was just fucking batshit wonderful. Just like a high bar for me. The last two episodes, like we just watched today, like the old mayor.
Mm.
When I say old, are you current? Did you watch
I'm
them?
not current. I'm a couple episodes back.
I bumped into the last two. They haven't been as strong as the other ones. But did you see the one with the girl having the party?
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking wonderful. Just dark. The series, kids, if you've not seen it, there is a through line that's going on, but it actually kind of functions more like a series of dark short stories that are loosely connected, in this town. And I'm not saying there's no main story. There absolutely is, but they're able to go on these flights of fancy that is just kind of really good horror storytelling, not necessarily furthering their plot or making you love their characters anymore, because they'll go with a bunch of people that hadn't been on the show before, won't be on the show again.
Mm-hmm.
But I've really enjoyed it. Who is the creator behind it? Worked on
Katie Dippold, who was, I know she was an SNL writer. I know
Parks and Rec kid as
Parks
well.
and Rec.
It's good stuff. Totally fucking worth a watch.
Yeah,
and I want to hear what you thought of the latest two episodes.
Yeah, I have a bunch that I got to catch up on post graduation and moving cross country. But
that guy's a good actor, man. That's a dude from The Americans.
Yeah,
I like him, and I like that girl who plays the secretary.
Is that his name?
No, isn't Matthew McFadden Tom Wamsgam from Succession?
Oh yeah. Who's this guy?
He's the Americans guy.
Matthew Reeves. I knew it was Matthew.
There it is. He's fucking good. The lady's good. Like and Stephen Root's in it. My boy Stephen Root, who I absolutely adore, and he's tearing it up. He's wonderful. It's an Apple series, kids. Give it a watch. And give it if you're like, hey, it's so quirky for me. Has a Jaws feel. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's like, what if the mayor from Jaws?
Yeah, it feels like you're watching the opening 10 minutes of fucking Jaws minus the kill on the beach. Like all the amity in the daytime stuff.
Yeah. But like, what if the mayor from Jaws had to find out that the island was that Amity was haunted and didn't want to believe it because it was going to affect tourism?
Right.
Despite an endless amount of evidence that shit is fucked up.
My kids were on that beach, Martin. My kids were on that beach too. It is definitely worth checking out. It was a great recommendation from Mark. What else did I watch? As I said, I've been rewatching The Sopranos, which holds the fuck up. But wait, we did Mandalorian. We
didn't do Spider-Noir.
Let's talk Spider-Noir.
Yeah,
we even talked The Boys a little bit. Me and Mark have watched episode 1 of Spider-Noir, just dropped on Amazon Prime. How many did they drop all the episodes at once?
I know there's a bunch up there. I'm not sure if all of them are up there, but it feels like it.
Whether or not you like this show, let's just talk about, we live in, what many would argue is the worst possible timeline. I can point to evidence that may not be the case, because we live in a world where they're like, let's do this version of Spider-Man as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a world where like the only Spider-Man we ever had as kids was animated and shit like that, or maybe on the Electric Company, or Nicholas Hammond crawling up the side of a fucking building being dragged up on a rope and shit. But yeah, man, like, or if you went to a baseball game and he married Mary Jane at Met Stadium or some shit. Now we live in a world where not only do we have the Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Man animated movies, the Spider-Man many animated series, we have a Spider-Man that's like such a deep cuts offshoot. Like, if you had told me as a child, one day you're going to get Spider-Noir, I'd be like, what does noir mean? It's nuts that we're in a world where this exists as its own thing. Number one. Number two, that Nick Cage is the star is also fucking mind-bending.
I mean, I would never have believed that that he would have been in like Into the Spider-Verse, would have introduced Spider-Noir, gotten Nicolas Cage to do it for the fucking movie, and then pitched him on a TV show, and then he said yes. Like, there's no amount of dice rolls.
All of it a magic trick. You can watch two different versions, one in black and white, which I chose, Mr. Clark, or you can watch it in vivid color as well. So they got you covered in both directions. Lord and Miller, exec producers on it. Oren, what was Dooley is the writer and director, creator. Fucking gorgeous. It's like watching Sin City. Like, isn't it? That's what I kept vibing on Sin City when I was watching it. Those backgrounds, a lot of them got to be unreal.
Yeah, I mean it's both Sin City, but like it's still got this like touch of evil vibe because it doesn't feel as stark as Sin City did. Like they were going so chiaroscuro on Sin City. It's all blacks, all whites. This felt a bit more lush than that, but it's definitely pushed. It's definitely like enhanced. It's definitely pulpy in a way that I think totally suits what they're going for. And fucking Nicolas Cage, man, who had never done a TV show before, decides to make his like to bust that cherry with Spider-Noir.
And he is serviced as well by the story as the story is serviced by him being in it. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets to showcase something we've always known he does very well, which is pick a lane and stay the fuck in it, man. He is one of the most committed actors you'll ever see practicing the craft, man, and always finds an original way to do things. So him, he's been a comic book kid forever. He named one of his children Cal, like because and the man famously almost played Superman, and then fucking CG played him.
Yeah, I mean,
Flash movie and stuff. He's a comic book
Cage.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there was a choice. He's a comic book kid. So you can understand, never mind whatever the fuck they're paying him and shit. And just like, hey, cultural fucking relevancy, man. It's got to be just a gift for him, like at this age, because he's older than us, man. Like, I'm 55. Yeah. Nick Cage, I think 62. He was, in Fast Times at Ridgemont High when I was in high school. So he has to be older. And to get like, I'm not saying like he's almost dead, 62 ain't old, but this late in life to get this gift as a comic book fan, as a lifelong comic book fan, to then have somebody be like, oh, you want to play Spider-Man? Like in the weirdest version of Spider-Man we've ever done. This tailor-made for the guy who is the star of Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah.
Valley Girl, fucking, Leaving Las Vegas, fucking, is it Kapa or Kapa fucking Honeymoon in Vegas, all the Vegas movies that Nick Cage was in.
Yeah. I mean, what if Humphrey Bogart was Spider-Man is what this is.
Yeah.
And it's fucking great. It's great.
Why is he Ben Reilly as opposed to Peter Parker? A legal thing of some sort? Because in the movie he was Peter Parker.
I don't think so, but I don't know. I'm so unfamiliar with that particular character.
Somebody double check. I didn't know if he was Ben Reilly. I mean, we all know who Ben Reilly is, of course, in Spider-Man mythos. Right. But I wasn't sure. I thought he was Peter. I thought his name was Peter Parker in Into the Spider-Verse. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody will correct me.
Ooh,
that wasn't me.
That was fun.
Bamf. Sorry. I did a quick deep dive for you. There apparently it's part of the Sony contract. There's a loophole where they can do whatever they want with Ben Reilly and not Peter Parker.
So he was Peter Parker in Into the Spider-Verse.
I believe so.
Oh, hold on.
I'll double check.
Spider Brutta in chat says there's a reason for the name. You'll get there. Is that part of the plot? Interesting.
I mean, according to IMDb, he is only credited as Spider-Man Noir.
A Sixth Element of Hip Hop says they don't want Peter smoking cigs. Yeah, there's a bunch of like rules that you got in order to do Spider-Man. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't deal drugs, can't smoke, so can't drink. So maybe that's why they couldn't let him be Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
say
they
in
don't.
the show that he changed his name. So he is. That Cash Linart says the Ben Riley loophole is hilarious considering it's part of the clone thing. It's ironic. Yeah, so I guess in the show they reference that he changed his name.
And I'll never say what it used to be.
Crazy. Fun, but fucking looks gorgeous. They spent some fucking money because I was sitting there going, Jesus. And then I remembered, oh, it's fucking Amazon. They got all the money in the world.
Like looks gorgeous, and then somehow, I'm sure they shot it in color and then transferred it to black and white because there's also a color version you can watch if you want. That ain't cheap either to like make those two things look distinct and different. I think that the cast, fucking Brendan Gleeson and Jack Houston, are banana. It's fucking nuts. And Oscar winner Nicolas Cage as a Spider-Man.
Giving it his all. Not phoning it in the least. Just a hell of a performance and shit. And from a bunch of people in chat, they're like, I'm 6 episodes in, and he's fantastic. Somebody said, where is it?
Like Nicolas Cage is the human iteration of Ain't No Half Stepping.
Yeah, I look forward to going back. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. I was having a good ass time.
Yeah, man.
I was watching in black and white, but somebody's going, you can effortlessly switch between the two. Color and black and white.
I don't know if I want to.
I am happy to be trapped in this cage.
Nice.
So yes, that's happening right now. Where else can we go?
I think that's all I watched. That's all the stuff that I did.
Do we have any news?
We have a little bit of news.
Let's get that news.
Let's hit that. I did not know that they were making a Rick and Morty movie, but they are. And they have a director of a Rick and Morty movie. Jacob Hare, who has directed episodes of the long-running Adult Swim series since 2019, is in talks to direct the animated feature version for Warner Brothers. They don't have a date for it yet, but it was news to me. I'm assuming that people who maybe were following the adventures of Rick and Morty in the metaverse have already heard this news, but I didn't. And so, like, fuck yeah, Rick and Morty movie, bring it. And it seems like they're committed to make it.
I'll take it.
Hell yeah.
In chat, Stanley299 said the new Duffer Brothers show, The Burrows, is great. Did you watch?
I haven't yet. I want to though.
I've heard good things, really good things. So I look forward to watching that.
Yeah, Alfred Molina, Gina Davis.
Ooh, Galactits in chat says, "Did you see Obsession?" I have not. My kid did. Loved it. I want to go. She was supposed to go with me. Little fucking rat went without me. But let's talk about a movie that's this movie Obsession, directed by a YouTuber kid, right? Somebody give me his name. He made it for like under $1 million.
Curry Baker, I think.
I think that's Curry.
Curry Barker.
Curry Barker made it for under $1 million, but it got picked up by Blumhouse, Universal. I don't know whoever's putting it out. So it gets like a studio release. So they put some money into it and stuff, but it's hard, so they don't put the world into it.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck, the world fucking showed up. So I guess it was the #1 movie last weekend, not Grogu weekend, but last weekend. This weekend, Mandalorian and Grogu was the #1 movie. #2 movie was Obsession, but it went up by 37% in its second week. 37 kids movies rarely ever go up in gross in a second week unless they like add 500 fucking screens. Horror movies never fucking go up in the second week. It just don't happen. It's historic. So the trailers are fucking dope, man. This is one of those kids you see and you're like, this is born to be a filmmaker. And somebody said that like he used to do funny videos on YouTube. It's not even like, the kid who made Backrooms, which was all creepy pasta and shit. Now that's a movie. So I can't wait to see it, man. I've heard nothing but good fucking things, but just looking at the box office alone,
Yeah.
that's an incredible fucking story and a feat in this age when everyone's always trying to figure out how you can make people go back to the movies and shit. Let these YouTube kids go crazy. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Like, you know, the entire generation of storytellers raised making their own media on YouTube for the last like 20 years. And now, you know, it seemed like they were in their own biosphere forever. Now it seems like the studios are going like, yeah, why don't we give them money?
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to see this flick.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the budget was what, $1 million, you're telling me, and it's already
Under
$1 million. Worldwide, it's at 95 million in 2 weeks.
Incredible. Dennis de Mercurio 2670 says, what horror movie can be more horrifying than what's going on in the news today? Look, yes, Dennis, we all feel the same way, but why we come hang out here is as a respite from that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do anything about the real world. I tried all the time. But when I get frustrated by the real world, ooh, it makes me mad. At least I could come here and talk about movies and make believe shit. And so, yeah, man, absolutely, you're right. Fucking the world is a fucking horror show every damn day. What do we need horror movies for? To escape, ironically, from the horror show. You know, go see a fake horror show. Like anything else, man. Sometimes a little escapism. But yes, point taken. Fundamentally, the idea of cinematic horror is a giggle and a whimsy compared to the waking world that we live in every second of the day right now. But keep hope alive, kid. A new hope, if you will. According to Mark, don't put any of that hope invested in Mandalorian and Grogu. But if you listen to me, kids, hope.
Indeed.
Hope is all about Mandalorian and Grogu is just all about hope and good times and shit.
Rebellions are built on hope.
There you go. Fucking well
there
done.
It is.
All right, where are we going now?
Transformers the movie that taught a generation just after our generation that heroes can die.
The cartoon movie or the Michael Bay one?
The cartoon movie, the 1986. One shall stand and one shall fall.
The one with Orson Welles
as Omicron. Was that it? Yeah.
With
Unicron.
Song? With the
Unicron.
Song?
Unicron.
With the song?
You got the touch.
And what about it? They're re-releasing it?
40th anniversary re-release.
Wow.
September 17th.
Wow. How many theaters, they say?
I think it's a wide theatrical release. They haven't said exactly how many that is, but I'm going to guess a couple thousand screens. In a 4K sort of refurbishment, probably for another video edition to follow. I would fucking go see that in the movies again.
I fuck with Transformers the movie hard. Like that was my like concurrent love to Star Wars. In March, I went and I saw Stan Bush and Vince DiCola, who did the score for the movie, live at the Whiskey with like, and I was like, oh, there'll be, 30 of us there. It'll be awesome. It was the busiest I've ever seen the Whiskey, like shoulder to shoulder nerds just geeking out to 40-year-old cartoon music. It was one of the best nights of my life. It was phenomenal.
I mean, the 80s
I will go with you to see that if you want to go.
The 80s was the decade that they told us heroes could die. Like fucking, or at the very least be drastically wounded. Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite.
Apollo Creed,
fucking Spock dies.
Luke Skywalker loses a hand.
Tragedy was the fucking watchword of the 80s. And Optimus Prime dying features spoilers. Optimus Prime dying.
Which was a big cultural impact for a generation of children. A bunch of parents were like, what the fuck? This is worse than Bambi's mother getting killed.
Why is the boy crying in his room? Because the refrigerator died? Yeah,
the robot's dead. Somebody explained to this kid the robot was never alive. He was alive, more alive than you, Dad.
They during COVID they started releasing toys that are movie accurate that had the movie branding on it. I have now spent, much to my wife's chagrin, thousands of dollars on Transformers that match what was in, because the old toys never matched. They were like, that's kind of looks like it. The 40th anniversary, they're calling the apology tour for killing the 40th anniversary, and they've released it's. Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm just gonna stop you right there and chastise you for a moment, JC. What kind of grown-ass man would spend that kind of money on an old cartoon that nobody ever fucking watches anymore? Grow up.
Get out of your parents' basement.
Yeah, come on, fuck. God, if only. Number one, does not look like my parents' basement because we didn't have a basement at 21 Jackson Street. But if I did, my parents would never let me do as much as I've done with this fucking room. And I also,
the water table did not allow for too many subterranean floors in Jersey houses.
Oh, you ain't kidding, especially during them floods and shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then what else we got?
Our final story is the movie that I have been waiting for the better part of 40 years. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Christopher McQuarrie are set to start shooting King Conan in 2027.
Chris McQuarrie's directing it?
Writing and directing a Conan the Barbarian sequel starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's pretty wonderful.
I mean, who knew? Who knew we would ever fucking get here?
That is strength, boy. That is power.
Look at that child. Come to me.
Come to me, my child. Come to me.
That is strength, boy. That is.
I'm in. And now, I mean, look, I was always in. They could have handed that to a fucking lousy ass director like me, and I would have been in for that King Conan movie. But you give it to Chris McQuarrie, proven goddamn fucking good movie maker, fucking great movie maker who makes like popcorn movies and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
This is gonna be good times. I'm there. And also, not just the popcorn movies. Give it up for the man won an Oscar years ago for fucking Usual Suspects as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's the complete package. You just got me even more excited for King Conan. I was always in, but fuck, that's damn cool. Is anyone left besides him? Mako is gone. James Earl Jones, well, he was
Sandal
dispatched
Bergman.
in the movie. Sandal Bergman, she passed.
I think she passed. I mean, the story,
really the last man standing. What about Subutai?
I mean, the story doesn't require any of those original characters. At that point, he's the king of Aquilonia, who's bored and tired on this, who strode the jeweled thrones of Hyboria under his sandaled feet. Yeah, I can't fucking wait.
Quam, I have never prayed to you.
I have no tongue for it.
If not, then to hell with you.
I grant me one request. Grant me revenge.
One of the greatest motion picture scores of all time was Basil
Polidorus. Yeah.
Na 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 na. Somebody in chat, Seattle KO says Alan Richardson would be great as his son.
There comes a time, thief, when gold loses its luster, when jewels cease to sparkle, when the throne room becomes a prison, and all that's left is a father's love for his daughter.
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of the women. All right, that's another reason to stay alive and shit.
Hell yeah. That's all the news we got, my friend.
That's all the news. Hey, Banff Man's here.
One more story that I have to talk about. You guys aren't as into it. X-Men 97 season 2 trailer dropped.
The trailer. I saw the trailer today.
And it's looks like Apocalypse, and it looks like they're going back. The X-Men are going back to the 90s and doing the blue and gold and the old school outfits and the whole thing. So I'm super hyped on that, and we're gonna do watch parties and everything at Scum and Villainy again. So, the coolest. All the voice actors came and hung out with us every week last time. So, I'm most excited about that.
Hey, that reminds me. You want to see this happen live in front of your fucking face instead of watching it on the old YouTubes and shit? Fat Man Beyond is, as always, returning to the San Diego Comic-Con, kids. And that's right. We're talking about San Diego because it ain't that fucking far away. It's almost June, and that shit happens in mid-July. So it's right around the corner. And I bet you we got art for it somewhere. Fat Man Beyond, kids. The link will be someplace at the American Comedy Club. We're doing shows there, of course, all through Comic-Con. Me and Jay are doing a show. Me and Ralph are doing Babylon. Me and Mark are doing Fat Man Beyond. I think I'm doing a solo show. Tickets available at csmod.com. If you're going to be at the San Diego Comic-Con, spend a couple hours with me and Mark live.
Thursday night.
Is that when it is?
That is when it is.
Bring your copy of Jay and Silent Bob. Jay's a Future Past. Look at this fucking, look at who's on that cover, Mark. Who that?
That's Black Panther.
Well, yes, but next to him. Get my friend. Has anybody ever celebrated their old job as much as me?
No, nobody in the history of the world has ever been like, you know what was great? My old job.
32 years. 33, if you count the making of Clerks. I have been like lionizing the job that I fucking hated so much that I made a movie to get out of it. And now all I do is fucking tell stories set there. I mean, that's all I've done for my whole fucking career. That is like Tantalus in the lake. This has got to be some sort of punishment.
I worked at a Red Lobster for a summer, and I have never once put a Red Lobster in anything.
Red Lobster is where America goes for seafood.
I forgot they had a jingle because I heard it every fucking day.
You lived it. That's your superhero, the Red Lobster. Like, where'd he work?
Yeah.
Shall we come out and see us, kids, at Comic-Con? Fat Man Beyond, man. Or come out and see me this weekend.
Hell yeah, you're all over the country.
I am. I just gotta make that money, man. And movie business is dead. So I gotta go out and fucking talk about the movie business on stage. I make more money talking about how I used to make movies than I make making movies. Come see me in Indianapolis, kids. Helium Comedy Club. Please. I'm begging you. Look at that art by Dark Nate Gonzalez, man, who also did this amazing fucking alternate Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash exclusive cover.
Ooh.
For Jay's of Future Past. That's our boy, Nate. Look at that. It's got the Jay and Bob logo on the cover, Secret Stash logo.
Ching.
Good times, man. All right. Banff, man.
Banff.
I know
questions.
Questions. Like, for example, Constantine Furman says, Kevin, are you turning into Rocky Balboa from Rocky Balboa? Which was that one?
That was the one where he
fought Tommy Gunn.
No, that was
that's Rocky 5.
Balboa was when he was retired, and HBO ran a simulation saying that Rocky Balboa wouldn't beat this guy, and then he goes, but he's also talking to his kid. That's the one with the quote that you see, which is like, nothing's going to hit you as hard as life. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you get back up and keep going and going.
It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit.
Yeah.
And can keep moving forward.
Did he fight in that movie?
He does.
Yep.
Who's he fighting?
He fight the character's name is Mason the Lion Grant. No, Mason Lion Dixon. Who's like a young black heavyweight, and like ESPN does the AI, whatever. It says, if you fought Rocky Balboa, you'd lose. and it becomes an exhibition fight where 64-year-old Rocky Balboa gets in the ring with 23-year-old whatever the fuck. And
How was it?
you know, not bad.
I think I remember liking it.
It's better than 5.
Than the Tommy Gunn one.
Yeah,
That was where the climactic fight is in the street. He has a street fight, essentially.
Yeah.
And this was the bridge to Creed, right?
To Creed, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Milo Ventimiglia plays his son in Rocky Balboa.
This is a rabbit hole I wouldn't mind falling down again after I'm done with The Sopranos. Might be an appropriate.
Yeah, you're gonna do the Rockies?
Yeah, I'm like you're fucking triggering me and making me go like, ooh, that's right. They're all connected.
Well, there's 9 of them if you're that interested.
And you really get to see this motherfucker grow. Like,
Yeah.
you talk about character development. Like, you can say what you want about them Rocky pictures, but where he is in the first one and where he winds up, we've watched that guy take a journey, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, but he's still the same character.
Yeah.
You know, like Rocky 5 is the one where I think he's the most untethered from what had come before and what comes after. But even still, like, yeah, all right, that's Rocky. I buy it. But Creed, he's great. He's as good as he's ever been.
Oh yeah. All right. So where are we? What we got? Any questions there?
Yeah, Richard Cora wanted to know, what director, actor, writer, podcast would you want to see in the form of a Fat Man podcast? So I think he means who would we want as a guest, maybe?
Or who would I want, like somebody else doing a Fat Man Beyond
podcast? Fat Man, yeah. Well, who would you watch doing a Fat Man podcast like this?
Chuck D is always interesting. Like a great speaker. Never mind, he could fucking spit a hot 16, if you will, or less even. But he just an interesting character as well. Well read. So like if could you imagine he had a fan podcast about some shit you didn't necessarily know he was a fan of? Well, I mean, that would make sense if like he was he knew a lot about rap, but like to find out, like, like here we are, we got day jobs, but we're sitting around talking about like pop culture and shit. We're fans of that. Like if you found out Chuck D was like the world's most fucking foremost authority and biggest fan of the Pro Bowling League, where you were like, wait, what? And you're like, oh, Chuck D knows more about fucking like bowling alleys than anyone in this world. I might give it a listen, whether I like bowling or not. I'd be like, well, I fucking listen to that. That being said, for filmmakers though, because I think that was it, I would like to hear the Coen brothers talk about anything. I mean, you never hear them talk. You never see them talk. I don't even know if they exist. There's just a photo of these two guys and shit. But to let them sit down and fucking talk about cinema or the movies that inspired them, or even if it wasn't movies, they just talked about like whatever their fan thing was. Like imagine if it was comics. Oh, but I love Coen brothers movies, so I would like to hear what the minds behind those movies had to say about shit that they loved.
All right, I'd listen to that. I think I would want a podcast starring Method Man and Michael Jai White, who is an actor and martial artist, talking about kung fu movies.
Michael Jai White was Spawn too, right?
Yeah, he was Spawn too, but he's a legit martial artist. And the fucking Wu-Tang was all about fucking Shaolin Chambers and those old Shaw Brothers kung fu movies. But yeah, like 2 dudes who love it, one dude who is a professional martial artist, and the other dude is just a fan, talking about their favorite kung fu movies. I listen to that.
I like it. What about you, Banff?
Sam Witwer and Frank Darabont talking about whatever movies and TV they were watching that week, doing the exact same thing that we do,
right?
But listening to those two guys talk about it, I think would be fascinating. Because Darabont did Walking Dead season 1. You know, like I think that would be very interesting and insightful.
In chat, Jay Inc. said he must be my Jiminy Cricket, because I was like, I can't believe I left this on the table. I should have went for it. He says, you got to name that podcast with the Coens, Kev. So a good name for that Coen Brothers podcast would be, well, it's not a great name, but Feeling Minnesota jumps to mind because they're both Minnesota kids. But for good branding, you would want Coens in there. So
Coens of Silence.
Jeff's Kiss.
There it is.
Done and done. Bought, sold, paid for. Fucking I'm there. Coens of Silence. Ethan, Joel.
We got this. There's no money in it.
Yeah. Okay, that's the truth. Well, for some. You got to talk about politics. There's a lot of money there.
True. Thanks to Tushy, there is a little bit.
Yeah, we get a little scratch from Tushy. We get to make a little. None of that dark money on this show, unless you're talking about,
brown eye
shit stains that you wash off with our good friends at Tushy.
Thank you for your service, Tushy.
Tushy. It's like having your ass licked by a lioness. I believe that's their new slogan. All right, what's our second question?
Mark Duffy asked, Steven Spielberg has Disclosure coming out this month. What is your favorite Spielberg alien movie?
I'm hoping it's going to be this one, man. I love it anytime Steven Spielberg likes to fuck with aliens. Side note, yes, even Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. In terms of satisfying outings of Steven Spielberg with aliens, I know it's going to be better than Crystal Skull.
Must be.
But there are two other high bars that he has to clear, or he doesn't have to, but that we'll be hoping he clears, because he is the guy that kind of has been doing aliens his whole career. Close Encounters, and then years later, Steven Spielberg, like I'm not gonna say his name like I know him. Spielberg returned to the aliens with War of the Worlds. So the first time it was like, they play music and they want to be our friends. And the second time it was like, no, they use your blood to fucking grow fields and shit. Remember that one scene where they fucking suck people up and they're like,
yeah.
So I look forward to seeing what Steven Spielberg has to say about life on other planets coming to this planet this time around. But wait, what was the question?
Your favorite War of the Worlds, Close Encounters, or E.T.?
Oh my God. I literally forgot his most famous alien movie.
Yeah. Skipped right over E.T.
Where's my heart?
Waiting for the heart light. Here.
Yeah,
Kevin.
I gotta turn on my heart light, as Neil Diamond once fucking said.
Let it shine wherever you go.
How the fuck? I could have been on a game show, left that out, and people would have been like, E.T., you dummy. It would have been like Quiz Show when he lost on Marnie.
Yeah. It would have been like, hey, what do you always keep around the house in case of parties? And I'm like, birthday. Candles,
Mark will be carrying that like a cross for the rest of his life.
Fucking Carter is pushing up a hill. Sisyphus and my fucking candles.
All right. So what about you?
I think I love War of the Worlds to death. I think it is one of the scariest Steven Spielberg movies.
Very.
I think the ending is always flawed, because the ending of the book is flawed, which is what happens to the bad guys. They get a cold. Like the flu is what stops them at the end of the day, but they'll be back. So like that part always felt a little, literally Deus Ex Machina. But E.T. is a perfect movie. E.T. is a perfect fucking childhood confection.
Perfectly forgettable, apparently. Fucking.
I mean, it didn't make a mark on you.
I cried at that movie theater when I saw it. When I saw it in the movie theater as a kid. I've got to rewatch that. That's another one. I got to fall down that rabbit hole. You know, there's only one, so it's not going to take me that long. But
Yeah,
it's been a
but
minute since I fucked with ET.
it's a good LA movie. It's a good Valley movie.
Valley movie, particularly. You're right. Good point.
Yeah.
That house is like half a mile from where I live.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I drove up there. The baby was asleep in the back of the car, and I was like, "Hey, I live right by the ET house." And I drove up and I saw the ET house, and I was like, "Oh my God, there it is!" And there's the shot going down the. It was wild.
Yeah,
Still there.
Did you get out and scream, "What's happening?" It was like, that's poltergeist, bitch. And you're like, "Oh, wrong neighborhood. My bad."
Yeah, the ET Park with the Caterpillar slide is in Porter Ranch, which is like 15 minutes away from where I too.
Whoa.
Is the Caterpillar slide still there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still there. It's kind of great. But yeah, War of the Worlds, because it's scary and it's very, I mean, it's so 9/11 coded. Like on purpose. But ET, I think, is his one of his masterpieces.
He's never gone back to it. Never did he ever even do an interview where he's like, one time we thought about it? Or is he like, no way? Just like Jaws, he's like, you kidding me? Fucking I ain't touching that.
Well, once they made the video game for Atari, they're like, the story's been told, guys. We're doing more.
Yeah, truly. Go play the game. But yeah, he did another Jurassic Park. What do you think?
I mean, I think he was always the regret he always had, or claimed to always have, was that he never made Jaws 2. And that's why
timing thing, right? Like, because his original idea for Jaws 2 was like, oh, let's do the Indianapolis story that Quint tells.
Yeah, but I think he got swallowed by, 1941, and then Raiders, and then Close Encounters, and then Raiders, and like the window had passed. Universal was like, we're making more of these, whether you come back or not. So I think that's why he came back for another Jurassic Park. He's like, I want to do a fucking sequel. Never done a sequel.
Someone in chat pointed out, technically, I want to give credit where credit's due because it was a great poll. But he goes, technically, the terminal. Oh, here it is. Eric O. Stetlin, 2196. Is he the one that said it? The terminal. They were like, technically, that's also an alien movie. Poisonous Plants 15 says the terminal was about an alien, technically.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. I can't believe I forgot about ET. I mean, I guess in terms of
Vasquez,
Close Encounters, like I remember being a kid and like it was not even my movie back then. I like that the older I got. Like there's that magical moment where they're talking to people in the desert and they all fucking point up and shit, like the very Spielbergian shot. Mashed Potato Mountain, that made an impact when I was a kid. I was like, what a waste. But I think I have to agree with Mark. E.T. is probably Spielberg at his most alien best, even though I absolutely forgot it 10 minutes ago. What about you, Bam?
Is it E.T. or is it Et?
Et.
Yeah. I appreciate Close Encounters more as I get older. I'll just stay on brand and say E.T. because she shows up in the Senate of Star Wars Episode 1.
Deep cuts.
That's my man.
All right. On to question 3, kids. We're almost off of this fucking ride. You having a good time? I know I sure am, man. So fucking, it's going to be a shame when the party comes to a close, but that's what happens. That's why we appreciate things, because there's an ending.
That's what happens to parties.
Talking about ET, when the show ends, I swear to God, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven and get some Reese's Pieces. Doesn't that sound good?
You're talking to a fucking vegan.
Are they not?
They're not, and they should be. I gotta look. It's got probably milk involved somewhere.
I mean, the chocolate will have milk.
Did they have chocolate?
But Reese's Pieces don't have chocolate. Not the peanut butter cups. The pieces are just.
Yeah, it's just an M&M with no chocolate.
Yeah.
Really, I thought there was.
They must not though, because I would be eating that shit like fucking crazy, man. They must have milk in it. I hate when motherfuckers put milk in things as a vegan because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it makes it more expensive, you dumbass. Just use them like some fucking water or some such shit. Figure it
So
out.
Reese's
Oreos,
Pieces,
completely vegan.
Reese's Pieces are dairy free. Hershey's has removed the milk ingredients from the recipe. However, they are not strictly vegan because they they contain confectioner's glaze, which is an animal secretion derived from beetles.
Yeah, that's right. That's what gives it the shiny veneer.
Yeah.
Who's milking a beetle?
Beetle ass.
But
Who's
are you
jerking off a beetle to get the fucking sugar glaze?
Yeah.
A motherfucker who takes beaver taint in order to make the strawberry flavor. That's where strawberry flavor used to come from, was beaver taint. No bullshit. Scientifically true.
Whoa.
Isn't it crazy where it's just like, why not just use a real strawberry? They're like, nah, what's the fun in that? Let's torture a fucking beaver.
I gotta seduce a bunch of beavers.
Seduce them and then fucking like, well, boys.
Hello, Shelly. Can I get a little closer to your taint?
Okay. What is our last question?
Last question. We'll stick with aliens. Victor Venn Diagram, longtime fan of the show, asks.
Great name, by the way. Whenever I see it, I'm always like, what a great name.
It's also, he's been part of in the chat for 6 years of the show, and that name is finally paying off this December.
Right? Patience. Patience. He's been playing the long game. He's like, you know what? They're going to need RDJ. And when they do, he ain't going to be Kang. So I'm sitting, I'm parked on this Victor Von diagram.
He wants to know, you are the first person the aliens meet, and they want to learn something about pop culture and humanity in one. What do you recommend?
In one, like a movie or something?
Yeah, a movie or a book or.
So wait, what is it?
Aliens land on Earth. They come to your house first, and they want to know about humanity. What do you show them? What do you give them? Pop culture and humanity.
I mean, like, this would not be my first choice, but Star Trek would seem good because it makes us look good. It's like, look, their 5-year mission was, to discover new worlds and make friends. And they very rarely were they ever aggressive in Star Trek. They were defensive when they were attacked, but they didn't go in places that bust heads and shit. So that might be a good piece of media. I mean, I guess now we're just talking about Galaxy Quest. I guess I just want to watch Galaxy Quest. So that's where that answer came from. My bad. What is my most human? What's the most human thing I could show them? Well, I would have said the Mandalorian and Grogu until you fucking.
Here's the thing for you.
Brand new everything except the porch catfish. I would have been like, look, this is a real good indicator of life on Earth.
I would do Richard Donner's Superman, because it's about an alien that comes to Earth, and there is the speech, they are a good people, Kal-El, they just need to be shown the way. And that's my get out of jail with murderous aliens. Maybe we can appeal to them that way.
I don't know. You show them Superman, they might be like, there are flying gods on this planet. Let's destroy them all.
They just need to be shown the way. They're asking for conquest.
We need their blood to fuel our fields. I might show them The World According to Garp, based on the John Irving book, directed by George Roy Hill, starring the late great Robin Williams. It is the movie that always comes to mind when I think about a human being's life. I thought they depicted the lifespan of a human being quite well in that movie. If I wanted to make them cry, I would show them the last 10 minutes of Big Fish. Also another beautiful movie about a humanist fucking movie. If they had enough time, I'd show them all 3 Clerks films just to get to that point. And also because, This is a pretty historic meeting, and people are going to ask the aliens, "What movies did he show you?" They'll be like, "He showed us Clerks." People, fucking figures.
Yes.
Aliens
37
come from
dicks.
another fucker. This is a close encounter of the first fucking kind, and you got to bring up Clerks. You broken fucking record. That's my inner monologue, kids. You can hear how much disgust I have for myself. All right, what are you showing them?
Oh man, I'm a little torn.
Besides your dick, Mark's like, these nuts. That's what I'm showing. That'll make peace in the world. That'll
Oh God.
You came a long way, so I'm going to show you these nuts.
Yeah. You want to see some fucking sugar secretions? Some of these nuts.
You want some of these?
I'm torn between like Searching for Bobby Fischer, which is a movie that is completely about kindness and empathy and competition and all that stuff.
Potzers, Josh, they'll ruin your game.
my best Lawrence Fishburne. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Like some fucking classic, good-natured, the best of humanity.
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart shit. But I think, you know what I fucking show him? I show him Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Aww.
It's whimsical, it's childish. There's some
Her first question would be, what happened to the children? Did they die? Like, well, we never asked that question after the movie was done.
Do you eat the children? Are they delicious like the candy?
Did they use their blood to seed the fields? Like, no, motherfuckers. It's not always about that.
The snozberries taste like beaver taint.
I heard that was vanilla, not strawberry.
Yeah. Those grandparents are slackers.
Yeah. Here on Earth, it is all about the foursome, I see, even in old age.
But yeah, it's something, what's the best of us? And it feels like, fucking To Kill a Mockingbird, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, that sort of thing. Forrest Gump, fuck that movie. Somebody suggested Forrest Gump. Fuck Forrest Gump.
Somebody in chat suggested The Arrival, and I was like, what a great fucking suggestion. Like, let's show them a movie about aliens showing up.
Yeah. Independence Day.
Like, oh my God. Yeah, not that one. Show them The Arrival, where it's like, look, we're going to learn to talk to each other, man. And we're going to find out that time is irrelevant.
Construct, baby.
That was awesome. Remember, they could like fucking, they didn't see time, like time, everything was happening at once for them. It wasn't linear or whatever. Fucking, what a smart movie. I want to watch that again. I wish there were like 3 Arrivals, but I'm kind of glad there's only one.
When that person mentioned The Arrival, I thought it was the Charlie Sheen movie from the 90s he was talking about. It's like, that seems like
whatever happened to this actor? Well, sit down.
Hold on.
Does the expression tiger blood mean anything to you?
Thereupon hangs a tail.
Fucking Star-Lord 7 says fire in the sky.
That one. Peter Benchleaf? No, Peter, what was his name? Peter Straub? Who was the fire in the sky? Whitley Strieber.
Whitley Strieber, yes. Whitley Straub. Whitley Strieber. No, I think you're right. Whitley Strieber. Just because it has nothing to do with aliens, but Kevin Gillette in the chat keeps asking, Kevin, have you watched Matt Johnson's Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie? You were involved with the Dirties back in the day. You're absolutely right. I was. I love Matt Johnson as a filmmaker. He also did, for those that don't follow this closely, the Blackberry movie that everybody enjoyed a couple of years ago. But also, yes, and Smodcastle, well, not Smodcastle, it was Smodcast Pictures Presents, I think, back in the day. We presented the Dirties, which is a wonderful school shooting movie, which is a weird thing to say, but it's insanely well done on a budget, set in Canada. Ingenious low budget flick. And then Matt also did Project Avalanche, which is a great flick about the moon landing, fucking, and whether it was faked or not, which he made for like $1 million in his own run and gun style. And he had a show that he did online called Nirvana, the band, the show. And then recently he had a movie come out called Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. So to answer the question, have I seen it? No. But you forgot, not only was I involved in the Dirties, I was also in an episode of Nirvana, the band, the show, as myself when he was at Sundance a few years ago, which must be like 10 years ago at this point. So I look forward to watching Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. But I'll be doing that here in my office. It's one of those things that like I can't get my wife to watch because she's like, sounds like I missed the whole setup for this joke. And I'm like, oh. But yeah, I look forward to watching it. I think Matt is incredibly talented. And he reached out to me right before the movie came out, man. And it's I wrote back instantly because I was like, I think of you anytime I see your name pop up. I said, I know I have no right to feel this way, but I feel a sense of like, yeah, man, I'm proud. Like that's my boy. And he says, I feel the same way whenever I see something about you pop up and stuff. A great guy, great filmmaker, and I will be watching that movie, but I haven't had a chance yet to answer that question. And that wasn't even one of the 3 questions. That's just a fucking bonus.
That's just because we like you.
Yeah, it's because we're having such a good fucking time, man. But all good things come to an end, kids, because we got rid of our questions. So fuck, we got no show left, man. Do you have a good time? Of course you. Oh my God, my laptop's about to die. Show's ending just in the nick of time. Do you have a good time? Do you like this angle of my office that I never sat at before?
Oh, it's nice. Especially sleeping dog is the best part of it.
The whole time, uninterested in all this shit. Sleeping back there going, fuckers lost me when that fucking one guy shit all over Grogu.
I don't like that one so much.
I was like, hey, the optics of this ain't good.
Yeah. Is that a German Shepherd, you say?
Exactly. Like, hey, you like everybody. Everybody. Kids, did you have a good ass fucking time? I did. And that's only possible because Banff Man hooked us up, man. Give it up for Banff Man for making it happen. Behind the scenes, you got to give it up for old young Will Wilkins, who fucking gets us over to Facebook and up on YouTube and whatnot, tirelessly working on behalf of Fat Man Beyond. But let's be honest, if you like the show at all, it has everything to do with you know who. Fuck, I can never get this right. There it is. You know who. Da, 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 da. Here's the story
Captain
of Marc Bernardin. Right there in the Millennium Falcon and shit.
Indeed. Swooping in to save the day.
Kids, don't forget, if you're in the Indianapolis area, if you're anywhere in Indiana, get to Indianapolis tomorrow night, 7:00 and 9:15. I got shows at the Helium Comedy Club right there in Indianapolis. And then Saturday night as well. Friday night and Saturday night, 2 shows a night. Tickets at csmod.com or the Helium Comedy Club website. And other things. Go to csmod.com. You can see where I'm.
Yeah, go buy Kevin's comic book in a couple of weeks.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, also tonight, we didn't talk about this, man. Ben Glebe, our friend Ben Glebe, has started a talk show, the first talk show on fucking YouTube. I was like, what? That can't be true. It fucking is. It's called Good Night with Ben Glebe. And I was on the first episode. I was like, Ben, how many people said no? He goes, quite a few. So that's how you get to Kevin Smith as your first guest. But I had a good ass time. And it airs, it should be up now. He said it was going up online 10:00 tonight. So after you're done here, jump on over there, man. He's got a cool concept, you know, doing late night on YouTube. A whole ass show that he did in his house, bro.
Wow.
And big fucking production, like 40 people and shit like that. That had a live studio audience. It's pretty impressive. Check it out, kids. It's over at what's their makeitagoodnight.com or something like that. Good Night is the show.
Amazing.
Speaking of which, good night to all of you. I'll be going to what is that one? Irvine, kids. I'm coming to do a show. When is the date? I can't quite see it.
May 31st.
Thank you. End of May. I'm gonna be there, man. That's coming up. What day is it? Oh shit, 3 days. I'm gonna be in Irvine. I'm coming hard in 3 days. First Indianapolis, then I fly home, go right to Irvine. After that, you can catch me June 3rd. It looks like at Phoenix Fan Fusion. Time is fucking
June
flying.
5.
June 5th. Phoenix Fan Fusion. My God, time is flying. Kids, what about you, Mark?
I got no place to go and no place to be. But I think I was telling JC, like I think we gotta figure a Cantina show.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I disappear to the Great White North starting in early July, and I'm there until like end of October.
Oh shit!
So, like,
yeah. Cantina show for sure, and don't forget, kids. Me and Mark are going to be at the San Diego Comic-Con at the American Comedy Club doing Fat Man Beyond on Thursday night.
Indeed, I'm going to be getting off a plane, going straight to the venue, rocking a goddamn show, and then going to sleep.
Fucking A, man.
Oh yeah.
Come see us, kids. Tickets available right now at csmod.com or the American Comedy Club website. There it is, kids. There's your Fat Man Beyond for this week. So much we covered, man. Lots of talk and stuff. Don't forget to go fuck with Spider-Noir, Punisher, One Last Kill, Mandalorian and Grogu, season finale of The Boys,
Maul, Shadow Lord, fucking Widow's Bay.
Hacks.
Go watch some stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there to take your mind off of the horror show that is our waking lives. Remember, kids, as bad as the world always gets, you can always get lost in the arts and the entertainment.
Indeed.
There it is, my friends. For Fat Man Beyond, I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
Jeff's kiss from Bullwinkle Central.
This is the way.
This is the cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything. Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith. Cheers,